Welcome, everybody. I'm Bobby Burton, joined by Jerry Hamilton and CJ Vogel of On Texas Football. Rod Babers will join us here in a little bit as well. We're here for the national championship. We're going to do a little Watch With Us Talking Ball episode simultaneously. They've already had the national anthem. They've had the big old flag out there. It is time to get going here as the Ohio State Buckeyes of the Big Ten take on Notre Dame, longtime independent. Guys, Ohio State favored heavily in this game. Who do you guys got right now? I'll start with you, Jerry, and let you give us your prediction.
First of all, nice of you to wear your Matt Maloney sweatshirt tonight. Penn Quaker, former Rocket guard. Joking, obviously. I think the 8 points is going to be covered by Ohio State. And I'm not saying early, but I do think they're going to cover it. I think Notre Dame's injuries are going to catch up with them this game against the most talented team they've played this season and probably the most talented team in the country that kept all their players all year and didn't have to boot anybody. So I'm thinking I'm going 31-17. I think Riley Leonard, the QB run game, they've depended that Notre Dame's helped win games for them to get to this point. I think they're going to have trouble with that against Ohio State tonight.
31-17 sounds about right.
31-17?
I got Ohio State. I think they win this game pretty big. How big for a national championship? Double digits feels big, but I think it might be closer to 17, something like that. There's just too much talent on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think that Notre Dame has the playmakers offensively that can go with Ohio State offensively. They don't have it in Emeka Egbuka. They don't have a Carnell Tate, and they sure as hell don't have a Jeremiah Love. With that said, I am on Jaden Greathouse plus 2,200 to have the most receiving yards in this game. So maybe they go down early and start chasing. Look, he got loose last week. That's what we're riding right now. I think Ohio State runs away with this one, though. That was my prediction from the beginning, and I've been a Will Howard truther this year.
Well, he was really the truth against Michigan, wasn't he?
If they win tonight.
I will say this. I feel like Ohio State has more talent overall. I'm not so sure that based on what I saw last week, Notre Dame doesn't play better as a team. I just want to put that out there. And so if they get into a dogfight in the fourth quarter, I'm anxious to see who actually executes the best in the fourth quarter. I would say this. I'm picking Ohio State. I don't think Notre Dame can score is going to be the problem. I've got Ohio State 27-13. That's my final prediction for this. Hey, talk a little bit of Longhorns here, guys, if we don't mind, as they get out on the field, get going here. Prior to that, Texas extending Steve Sarkisian over the weekend. Brandon Harris getting a extension as well and a pay raise. That's the general manager of University of Texas. I had to ask you guys, because we started talking about it a little bit last night, Junior Day is coming up this coming Saturday. I mean, we are literally going from one thing to the next almost immediately right now. And Jerry and CJ, you guys are going to be there for this. How high or how good do you think the talent is going to be that shows up this coming Saturday?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure it's going to be as big as the one last year because obviously you had time to get all those guys there. Texas is working more of a time crunch this year because the college football playoff, there's other competing junior days, January 25th. So I think the per capita ranking of recruiting ranking of these guys is going to be really high. I think there's going to be a number of elite players, both in the state of Texas and nationally. In Austin this weekend, Naeem Burrows, the receiver out of the Bowl School in Jacksonville, one that was confirmed yesterday. Him and his parents making their first ever trip to Austin. Because I think it's going to be a tremendous group of players, prospects. I'm just not sure it's going to be as deep in numbers, I think, for this first junior day. But I think they'll have another junior day in February, which they'll have more kids at as well. Probably more 27s in that one. This one I think will be more 26 focused.
What about you, CJ? Anybody you're looking at? Jerry mentioned Naeem Burrows or wide receiver. What about anybody else you're looking forward to seeing this coming weekend in Austin?
Yeah, Jerry and I talked about it a little bit this morning on Coffee and Football. Who are the must-gets for Texas coming into the weekend? And, of course, John Turntime's name was thrown up as well. But I look inside on the offensive line. Toa Katoa is one of those guys for me. And he was at Tennessee this past weekend. And it's kind of one of those big conversations for Texas. How many body movers do you have in the run game? How many can you accumulate to build over time? And Katoa, for me, is absolutely one of those guys. At his weight, with his size, the way that he can just move for a guy that's 355, 360 pounds, I mean, it's pretty darn impressive. If you're able to, kind of doctor him up over a year and then throw him on the offensive line, that's a guy that will just pave roads for you in the running game. And I think Texas is very much moving in that direction, right? We'll see what Nate Kibble can do, but I like what you got at guard, at least on paper, with Nato Umeozulu and DJ Campbell coming back. That's the assumption that Cole Hudson moves inside. But looking down the road, big bodies that can pull, that can create, have sorts of those double teams and reach the next level. Katoa is a guy that absolutely can do that in my eyes.
And by the way, Bobby, the staff returns to the road tomorrow. I think DFW is going to be where you see a lot of guys. Max Wright from Melissa, the big offensive tackle, 4-star, told me that Kyle Flood and Sark will be by the school tomorrow morning. So it's going to be Sark and Flood Day, going around seeing Toa Katoa, John Turntine, Max Wright, some of those guys. Sark will be in Dallas probably 2 or 3 days this week. Obviously, Blake Gideon is going to go by North Crowley as well. Probably look at Aaron Bradshaw, then up to Panther Creek to see Donovan Webb. Terry Joseph expected at Panther Creek to see Jalen Lott. You'll probably also see Steve Sarkisian there, wherever these top targets are. Caden Finley, Chris Jackson, I believe, is going to go see Caden Finley at Aledo, and a couple other guys as well. So expect to see a lot of this Texas staff in Dallas. I would expect Kenny Baker's rolling around up there as well. So this Texas staff returns to the road tomorrow, and they're going to start in DFW. Late last week, they went to Cali for a day. Sark was in Central Texas. Then there were some coaches in the Houston area on Friday after being in SoCal Thursday. I think they're going to be DFW early this week. We'll see if they hit Houston after the weather gets a little better. That sounds crazy to say. Worse weather in Houston than Dallas, right? In mid-January. And then late in the week, it may be out of state, but for sure next week in Florida and Georgia, in those areas. And last week as well, A.J. Milwee went to see Diabell, the 2026 quarterback recruit, who was offered by Georgia the same day. Diabell will be at Texas this weekend.
I question on that. There's one of those headlines that go out there as a little clickbaity. Oh, Georgia making a run at Diabell was the headline. Was it just a scholarship offer and that's all it was? I mean, some of these things are just getting out of hand. I mean, people are creating headlines that make no sense to me. They're not making a run. They offered him a scholarship like, 50 other schools did? Making a run to me would connote something a little bit different.
Right. They offered him and sat down and talked with him at the school, right? I mean, so they did what any other school's doing. But the whole making a run thing that's the coin token phrase in our industry now to try to pull you in. I mean, that's just what it is. Look, I'll tell you, if the only way Georgia makes a run at Diabell is if Diabell shows up on their campus. And if he does, then yeah, it's a recruitment at that point. But if he never does, then sorry, your title was not truthful. I mean, they offered him. They should offer him because they lost Curtis. And a lot of the other guys they had offered are committed elsewhere. So they should make a run. But unless Diabell shows up on that campus, let's be real, they offered him and they gave him a recruiting pitch.
And here's the other thing is we've talked about Texas going into Georgia to take over some of these defensive linemen that normally would go make up one of these top elite defenses for the Bulldogs. Kirby Smart's not going to let that happen. At least he's going to do whatever he can to prevent it. And if he can do that on the offensive side as well, I know Sarkisian more than not gets the nod for being the offensive guy at quarterback specifically. But if Texas is going to make life difficult for Georgia in their home state in that SEC territory, it'd be, very foolish for Kirby Smart to try and not do the same.
Yeah. By the way, congrats, Sandman. Sounds like he took his joy mode before the game tonight. So,
boy,
on trying the product.
Hey, looks like Notre Dame's going to have the ball first. Notre Dame's going to have the ball first, guys. As we're sitting here watching out, Riley Leonard, the transfer from Duke. He is one of those guys, Jerry, that we had on his coach, David Morris, was on with us down at QB Country down in Mobile. Riley Leonard, one of his proteges, like KJ Lacey, like Gunnar Rivers, like Arch Manning. What are your thoughts on Riley Leonard and that quarterback pedigree that they're building down in Mobile, of all places?
The thing I always point to with Riley Leonard is two things. When you watch him move athletically on the football field, before he hit the playoffs, if you hadn't done your research, you wouldn't know he was a legitimate D1 basketball player. He had offers. The dude lived with his elbows at the rim. I mean, he is a run and explosive vertically jump athlete. But here's where it changed for him. He trained with David Morris, and David Cutcliffe offered him at Duke. And when is really the last time David Cutcliffe didn't have missed on a quarterback that ended up being his starter? I mean, Riley Leonard was really good at Duke. He had Duke rolling with Elko last year until he got hurt. Just a tremendous athlete. But I think he's got a guy that's going to play in the NFL. I don't think there's any doubt about it. The question is, can he be a starter in the NFL? But I'll tell you one thing he has. He has the twitchy athleticism and playmaking and ability to avoid the rush against great athletes.
Well, I got to tell you right now, I'm watching the first couple of plays of this game right now. Riley Leonard has run 2 QB draws or 1 QB counter and a QB draw, and they've gotten a first down. If I'm an Ohio State fan, I'm livid right now.
Right. I didn't think that would happen.
The one thing you can't do against Notre Dame is let them run the quarterback for first downs. I mean, what are you?
As Rick and Berge said, Notre Dame's a inside zone team. And we talked about that going into the Georgia game, whether it's running back or QB, they're an inside zone team.
That's just boggles my mind that would happen the first 2 plays out of the game. You see some of the problems there with Riley Leonard in the pocket. He kind of bounces a ball in front of the turf there on a receiver that's actually wide open when he has to play from the pocket. They're going to have to commit more guys to the run game here against Notre Dame, would be my guess. I mean, they got a light box again, five in the box, 6 in the box.
Yeah, they got 6.5 hats now.
Yeah,
look, they're going to have to if they keep winning, because the first down run of the game went for -1. There's a good little slant there.
Yeah.
But the first run of the game, JT Tuimoloau he snuffed it out and beat his man, beat the left tackle for Notre Dame, which is something to watch because obviously they've had injuries up front. And is this going to catch up with them tonight eventually?
I would imagine that run and that quarterback run will be a big part of this all the way through. It's interesting when you look at it because neither quarterback in this game is what you would call a refined passer. I think Will Howard has shown maybe some improvements in that regard. Obviously, it helps throwing a 3 5-star wide receivers, but it's not like either one of these guys is what you would consider to be a big strength of their game is the accuracy, the downfield pocket awareness. Now, they're both gamers in the sense that they can lay their hat down. We just talked about Riley Leonard, his athleticism. Will Howard, very much the same. Didn't see a whole lot of it against Texas, but that's kind of where you're at now. You got to have a guy that can move around at the quarterback position, and you're seeing it right now.
Hey, we're going to take y'all's questions while we watch this game, talk a little bit about Texas while we're watching the national championship here. Notre Dame moving the ball on the first possession inside of Ohio State territory after a couple of first downs. They're facing a third down. Let's start with this one from Juan Garza. What's the difference between Mac, Charlie, Tom, and Steve personality-wise? Charlie, I'll tell you this much. Charlie Strong was by far the most gregarious, the most friendly, like not just to media members, but to just general people. Like he was a really good people person, I thought. Mac was a little more polished in that respect, very respectful, etc. My opinion. Oh, it's gonna be 4th down. They strung it out. My thought process is Mac was a little bit more respectful, more old school would be a way to put that. Jerry and CJ. Charlie, very personable. Tom Herman was standoffish to people in person and in group settings a lot of times. and was not well liked by his team. I'll just put it that way, the best way to put it. Charlie and Mac, the players actually love both of those coaches. Coach Sarkisian's a little different. I think he has a little bit of Mac to him, and then I think he's himself also. I think that's a big piece of this is that he's a little bit younger and more Southern California. Now, that doesn't mean he's not very serious or strong-willed, anything like that. It's just he's a little bit more laid back in his normal approach. But once he gets on the football field, pretty much a disciplinarian. Jerry, you've I think talked or met with those guys before. Yeah. All of them. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so look, Mac is the best recruiter I've ever been around. And I mean, he's in that category with Bobby Bowden. I mean, and name a couple of other guys. He had his memory recall was as good as you'll ever see. I've always said the best compliment I could give Mac is in his heyday. If you'd have given him a year to run for mayor, senator, even president, he dang well might have won it because he knew how to get votes. I mean, he had an unbelievable memory recall. He would have been an unbelievable politician. He was as good in the living room with parents and recruiting and people around kids as anybody you'll ever see. I mean, he was phenomenal at it. Just phenomenal. I mean, because you got to remember, he came to Texas when A&M was on top. He was getting blown out by Oklahoma and beating Bob Stoops on 9 out of 10 kids. And it drove Oklahoma crazy. They couldn't believe guys like Selvin Young were going to Texas after they pasted Mac. And he was just unbelievable in a recruiting, just that memory recall. He could see Bobby in 1999, and he sees Bobby in 2009, and he wouldn't ask Bobby about Bobby. He'd ask about the kids by name. Mm-hmm. That's the type of memory recall and recruiting prowess and ability to get votes, get recruits. That's very, very rare. I think Sark's adapted recruiting wise because, like you said, he was more laid back, SoCal laid back, and when he got to Texas, Jimbo, A&M were very aggressive. LSU, very aggressive. They pushed kids a lot harder. And so Sark hasn't changed his recruiting philosophy, but he's adapted somewhat to pushing some guys earlier because there was a couple of guys that got away in that 22 class because he just didn't make a push soon enough. But he's corrected that. And he's adapted, I want to say. Charlie, unbelievable, like you said, just the nicest guy for unbelievable closer in recruiting, by the way. And then Tom Herman, he just didn't come across as genuine. If you don't come across as genuine, recruits aren't going to buy. What you're selling in Texas is always going to recruit to a certain level, but it's also hard to keep your team when the chips are down if they don't think you're genuine. And that was the biggest problem. And he wasn't genuine with the high school coaches, or maybe he was and it wasn't good.
That was probably the biggest change from Strong to Herman, I would assume, having been going into college and then experienced college at the same time Herman was there. Look, you hear it from kids in class, and that was one of the things I remember is when Charlie Strong was out the door, you had the team rallying behind saying, Coach Strong is our guy. We only want to play for him, keep him along. Whereas on the flip side, and this is, after – you win the Sugar Bowl, you're supposed to be bouncing forward, looking ahead. And I think there were some players that were just like, let's move on, right? This is not really working right now. It's not really fun to go to football practice every day. And, that was certainly something that came out later was that there was negative recruiting from within the building to some recruits as well. So that's a big change as well. I can't speak for the Mac era, obviously, but for Sarkisian specifically, there's not a negative word coming from inside the building going out. That's a much, drastic change than what we saw from the last regime.
Welcome in, Rod Babers. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, fellas?
We're watching a mobile QB here, kind of nickel and dime Ohio State down the field a little bit, guys. What are y'all's thoughts so far? Notre Dame, I think 3 of 4 on third downs and 1 of 1 on fourth down. This is going to be a 3rd and 3 from about the 7-yard line here.
No, that's the quarterback mobility is all the difference. It'll make the difference on this. the fourth down coming up. I mean, it's making all the difference in the game so far. There's no question about it. That's the great equalizer. There ain't no doubt.
Yeah. Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame, knows how to call that kind of game too, guys.
Yeah.
Remember, he had Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels was highly successful running the football as well as a twitchier guy. So Mike Denbrock, very adept at doing it different ways with
empty formation. The same thing Georgia did to Texas. You get a mobile quarterback. I tweeted out one day, like I think when the Eagles were playing, the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. You go empty formation with a mobile quarterback, man. It's almost impossible to stop if your quarterback makes the right decision.
And by the way, I think this is one of the things we will see with Arch Manning next year, guys, is inside the 5-yard line. And see, Riley Leonard's going to get the hell beat out of him in this game, though. So you better get your points early.
It's the last one. It's all good. It's the
last game, but he's got to make it to the third quarter. But I think one of the things you will see is Arch Manning with a little QB draw against empty or a QB counter with empty. That's one of the things you're going to see inside the 5 next year with Texas.
And 9 rush attempts on that opening possession for Riley Leonard.
Hey,
I don't know if that's a recipe for success, but it's working on this opening down. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, look, 4 fourth downs for Notre Dame on this opening possession, average distance to go of just 2.8.
Two fourth downs.
Third down.
Oh, you said 4 third. You meant 4 third downs. Yeah,
yes.
Gotcha.
Rick Ambergi says Arch will not be doing this. I'm only talking about inside the 5. Inside the 5, when you got to have points, I won't be surprised with Arch if you don't see some empty with him.
Oh, that tight end got a great block there.
No, that was good. That was,
18 plays. I mean, if that's not the most perfect Notre Dame start to this game, I don't know what is. 18 plays, 10 minutes off the clock.
Playing a little 4-down football because you got to take some risks in this game. That's the only way you're going to close the gap. They got a talent advantage. So how do you close the gap? Mobility with the quarterback position, +1 in the running game there, and also, you're going to play 4-down football.
Hey, by the way, 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yep, to add time. There you go. They ain't even seen the football yet. Yeah, you're right. That's a good one. Yeah, great point, Jerry.
If you can run the football on Georgia, you probably can run the football on Ohio State. I know Ohio State has a good defense, but Notre Dame found some success running the football late.
But the +1 in the run game helps you even against Georgia, man. I mean, +1 in the running game, it changes the math, guys. It really does. So I think that's, even the best rush defenses have trouble with that.
Woo! This game is off to a surprising start, I think, for a lot of folks. Right? Hey, CJ, what was the line going into the game?
I think it closed. Ohio State was 8-point favorites, so a little bit of a drop from 9.5 where it was earlier. I didn't take it, but if I did, I was going to take the Ohio State side. But right now, a hot start for Notre Dame, that's for sure. Hey,
let me ask you this. This is going to be the question, Rod. I want you to take this. Put Rod at the top of the screen and put me at the bottom here. Matt, our producer, if you don't mind. Why can't Texas OL get to push like Notre Dame can? Why we see this happen right here? Why can't Texas O-line get this kind of push?
That is a great question. I do think Texas lately has found their identity in the run game being more with zone blocking concepts instead of some gap power schemes. Now, I haven't studied Notre Dame's run game, so I'll admit I'm not sure exactly what the ratio is and how much gap power schemes they're running. I do know a +1 in the run game, as we just talked about, with a quarterback being able to run, that helps. But in terms of the downhill running attack, just because Texas has big humans, you'd think they'd be able to run the football downhill and play bully ball. Those big humans, much more better adjusted, I should say, and much more equipped to zone blocking schemes. And I think that's going to be the next step for Texas. When can they line up? That's why the goal line situations nobody's running a lot of zone stuff on the goal line. And goal line, man, you're running power. You're coming right down on the guys. And I think Texas, they're having a hard time being able to run downhill on teams, short yardage, or even, times when they, even the second game against Georgia, I believe Texas ran a lot of gap power schemes. Still didn't really help the running game. So I think that's what they got to figure out with this new crop of offensive linemen. But I really can't tell you. It's a mystery to me too.
Hey, CJ pointed this out earlier. Do they, with 9 carries already in the first drive, do they expect Riley Leonard to carry the ball 40 times tonight? You wouldn't think so. But by getting ahead early, and if they get a defensive stop here, they can kind of whittle that number down.
Look, if it's working, right. I mean, this is going to be the last college game for Riley Leonard, right? That's the expectation. The last game at Notre Dame.
Yep.
Run them till the wheels fall off, right? And again, with a hobbled Jeremiah Love, I know he's got 3 carries. He came out in a brace on his knee that he sprained against USC late in the season. If he's unable to give you something on the interior, you have to move the ball in some way. And look, it's not great. 3.8 isn't great, but it's enough to keep the chains moving. Run them till you can't anymore.
I will say this, though. Riley Leonard's already dinged. So they got their 7 points, but he's sitting there pointing at his right forearm, and he is right-handed. So they're going to have to – he's got to make it to the 3rd and a half quarter if he's going to be used like this. That's going to be a key because he can't be beat to hell by the middle of the 3rd quarter. He's got to be able to actually throw the forward pass. But it'll be interesting to see what they do, Bobby. Like you said, if they get a stop on Ohio State, I think they'd lean more running back at that point. But it was the script work. They got the points, but if he carries it 25 times tonight, dude, that guy's going to be limping back to the huddle with a hurt arm.
I think both you guys are right, though. I think for CJ, if you got to do it, you got to do it. Sorry, man. It's the last game of the season. We can't leave any meat left on that bone, man. We got to sacrifice everything to try to win this game. But to Jerry's point, I wouldn't doubt if this is just the script. Once you have the threat, as you've spoken about, Jerry, of the +1, the running game, the quarterback, I got to respect it. Then I got to change my defensive game plan, allocate resources to make sure that everybody stays disciplined. Backside defenders, spies. I gotta change a little bit of everything to make sure. Okay, now we need to re-emphasize. All right, eyes on the QB, and that'll open up some other things. So maybe it is the script. Hey, man, we're gonna overemphasize QB run, and then once they allocate resources to neutralize that threat, we got the counter ready to go, whatever it is off that. So I agree with you, Jerry. They're not going to make it 4 quarters running like this, but maybe it is to sucker them in, right? The rope-a-dope. And then you open it up to some other things, maybe the pop passes and stuff like that. Some of the other, quarterback, the bootleg roll out and getting the quarterback on the move, some other stuff.
He's going to, Anthony Avezanis, he's going to have to be Canes King like the Georgia game.
That was a good one.
Tomorrow. Worry about getting some rest tomorrow. Good point there, Anthony. I like that comment a lot because those are 2 very similar quarterbacks, right? Riley Leonard and Haynes King.
Yeah.
Big, rough, durable, have some speed and athleticism. Not necessarily the best passers. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. We are, by the way, only in the first 10 minutes of this game, but that drive, 9 minutes and 45 seconds off the clock, 5 minutes left in the first quarter. That was a fast first quarter, or a fast 10 minutes of a quarter, because we literally, Notre Dame had 3 third down conversions and 2 fourth down conversions. They only had 2 incompletions on that drive as well, so the clock ran the whole time. That is a formula for success for Marcus Freeman.
You know what that opening drive looked like to me? It looked like Mississippi State on the road at Texas this year.
Yeah.
Just coming out saying, you know what, if we're going to have any chance in this game, it's going to be by controlling the clock. And they did that for basically that entire first half, right? So, look, if that's the blueprint, it worked for, 1 drive in. Let's see what Ohio State does to adjust.
And Notre Dame's going to play man. They're going to challenge it, man. Well, they got 2 high safety, but they're going to play a lot of man, Rod. They're going to trust their corners in this game.
Nobody plays more man coverage in the country than Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Leonard Moore, Jeremiah Smith, sign me up.
Hey, can I ask you guys, why didn't Texas recruit Leonard Moore? Yeah,
I don't know exactly.
All right, I'll stay away from that then. I'll stay away from that.
I'll text you on that one, Rod. I'll text the group right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I watched this game. That's pretty good. I mean, Notre Dame had 8 in the box there on that play, and they gained 5 yards on going left. They're going to run. They're going to try to run. Boy, this is the problem with Ryan Day. You know, I think he calls games to prove a point, him and Chip Kelly both. And like last week, I did not – if I were an Ohio State fan, I would have been really disappointed in the game call by Day and Chip Kelly. I didn't think they really utilized all assets, I guess, very well. But this is the first third down of the game. Let's see what they do. Let's see if Will Howard turns as Rod calls him, Will spilled out.
Nah, man. You know what they gonna do. You know what they gonna do. Hey, they playing man though. They playing bump and run.
That dude is big. That dude is big. You don't appreciate how big Jeremiah Smith is. Jerry, did you see him in high school? Go down there and see him?
Oh, yeah. I have a crazy Jeremiah Smith story. So I was I'm sorry, I'm sending this text to Rod, and I'll tell you this. Okay. So Jeremiah Smith, I went to the Under Armour camp in Miami, and it was about 3.5-4 miles from the ocean. So it was a breezy day. And Jeremiah Smith, this was going into his junior year. We all knew he was really good. That's the first time I'd seen him in person. He dropped like 4 or 5 balls in the breadbasket that day. Whether it was, okay, it's too easy, I wasn't really concentrating. Maybe I stayed up late the night before and I just didn't have a good day. Maybe it's that, you know what, maybe I was just bored. I don't know, but he won on the routes, and then he dropped the ball a lot. And I remember walking away from there and saying, that guy's a hell of a talent, but does he have elite hands? Because that was the only time I saw him, because I wasn't doing national stuff at the time where I'd go back and see him multiple times. I was just down there covering all the kids one time. But he had the drops that day, and I left kind of puzzled. I was like, this guy's an exceptional talent, but is he really going to be able to catch the football at a high level? And, you know, he had 2 or 3 drops early this year, and he's gotten past that. And I think it could just be a concentration thing when he drops it. I don't think it has anything to do with hands.
Man.
I love the Travion Henderson guy. Man, it's good running back, dude.
They starting to look different out there.
Good running, good looking player. What are they gonna do?
They're hitting him with the speed at the running back now. Then they're gonna hit him with the power in a second.
Well, Henderson's powerful too, though, man. I mean,
well, but he doesn't really drop pads. He tries to bounce you. He tries to get you in the box and bounce you. Judkins just wants to drop his hips on you.
Yeah, Judkins runs like he's mad at the grass, man.
He's mad at the grass. Is that what you said?
Yeah, man.
I hadn't heard that term. I don't think I've heard that term before, Rod.
Hey, by the way, normally in these games, there's normally one quarterback that's going to be a first rounder, top 5, top 10 pick. When's the last national championship game that didn't have high level NFL quarterback?
Oh, I know just the one, and it's actually really recent because I had this exact same conversation with a couple buddies earlier. It's TCU and Stetson Bennett. It's Max.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's a good one.
Because I sat there and I was sitting there and I was like, okay, Will Howard, Riley Leonard, good quarterbacks. I wouldn't call them elite. I wouldn't call them transcendent. I wouldn't even call them really great NFL prospects, but good college quarterbacks. And it got me down that rabbit hole. I was like, oh, yeah, Stetson Bennett won 2 national championships.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah. You don't.
I got to say this, that play right there is what I'm talking about with not liking his play calling a bunch.
Yeah.
Put
a little sauce on it. He has to put some sauce on it every time.
Yeah. He's just like he overcomplicates things.
Yeah. Some people say Sark does that every now and then.
Oh, I think Sark does it for sure.
Every now and then. Put a little too much sauce on it. It's like, you don't need all that. It's good barbecue. Why are you adding all that sauce to it? It's good.
It's true, but nobody is perfect. And I do think that the other thing is that you're seeing, look at this, the slot is completely, now they walked him up. This is interesting. Kind of a bare front there. 2 QB runs. What do we think? You think maybe the QB run by both teams is going to be a piece of the puzzle here?
But it's also a theme in NFL playoffs too, right? You had more scramble happy quarterbacks in the NFL playoffs than ever before too.
Is that the fastest first quarter in history?
That was a fast first quarter. I ain't gonna lie. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was wild.
27
what
minutes.
what did that take? 25 minutes?
It's great. We're going to be out of here by 9:30 tonight. This is great.
That was crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's like a high school
On
basketball.
third and 3. I guess what's good for the goose is good for the gander there for Notre Dame and Ohio State. Guys, you look at it in this group. How big is it? I mean, this is going to be this. This may end up being an off-season story. You know, is this how you change your red zone fortunes?
Yes.
Is QB run? I mean, is that solely it? And we know Sark doesn't really. I don't want to say doesn't believe in the QB run game.
He doesn't major in it. That's his term.
Right? He's definitely reticent to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so. And I will say this, you do this 12 games or 14 or 16 games a year, you're going to be lucky. If you're playing in the SEC, you're going to be lucky to have that same quarterback in game 16.
No,
You're not playing Navy and Army and State. I mean, it's just, I think you're a little different. That's crazy.
Because look, I mean, here's the reality of that. Riley Leonard's dealt with injuries. He had the ankle injury. Haynes King's been beat up his entire career. So there's only so many times you can go to that well unless they're a total freak show who can get outside the edge all the time. And then they get they get ankle tackled, they run out of bounds. But if you're sitting there trying to take on contact after contact after contact, you're not going to stay healthy over a long season.
Here's the exact comment that we were mentioning just then. Can we use QB design runs for Arch next year like Notre Dame is doing for Leonard? I feel that is what we are missing. Got to say this. One of the key plays on Ohio State's final drive was a QB run by Will Howard as well.
Yeah.
To play counter devil's advocate here, Arch is expected to be a much more refined passer than both of these guys. Now, given a pocket, you would expect these plays, completions to be more available for you down the field, which I think we would all expect. That's what Sarkisian is kind of anticipating as well, and why you don't see a lot of design quarterbacks runs, though that they were there with Arch every now and then. But even with, Tua with Mac Jones, I know it wasn't a big part of their game either, but you didn't see them that often in Alabama either. When given a pocket, when given a good, talented quarterback that's accurate down the field, you're going to be seeing a much different. But to the red zone conversation, absolutely. A guy that can move like this at this size too, because what, Jerry, we've talked about it. Riley Leonard, 6'4.5", 6'5". Will Howard, 6'3.5", 6'4". Like they're big quarterbacks as well.
Yeah. So here's my prediction for it. I think we're going to see Arch more waggles, more rolls with Arch over the course of a game. The Mannings didn't come to Texas to run QB draw up the middle. That's not what they want for Arch. Just look at the Ohio State game. He got knocked out of that game. Let's be clear. But you're going to see more quarterback on the move within the scheme, Rod. But I will say this, inside the 5-yard line, if you're in one of these games and you got to go win it, I don't have any doubt you're going to see an empty package with Arch in the shotgun. And I just think you're going to see that. I think that's going to be the next evolution. And some people are like, well, Texas offensive line's not physical. Well, look, they were physical enough to win in Alabama 2 years ago. Now, if their inside zone comes back, maybe Neto is a difference maker in the inside zone run game, guys. Maybe him and DJ Campbell together at guards. What if Cole Hudson can move people more at center? Then your inside zone maybe is more effective, and maybe this team with the makeup of it was better in outside zone and wide zone, especially with the injury to Cedric Baxter. But I think you're going to see more on the move plays with Arch, but it won't shock me if inside the 5 we don't get something like we saw. Not a lot, but when it's time to score the football, it won't shock me next year.
Yep. I think he'll use it as a threat, but as he's always said, he won't major in it. He may minor in it, but he'll use a threat. I agree about your empty package, though, Jerry. I just think he understands what a threat that is for a defense. So you'll see him in empty. And by the way, I just think Arch will scramble more. Period. I think he's going to scramble more because he's confident in his athletic ability.
Oh, that was a pretty play.
It wasn't a beautiful play. It was
That's that
beautiful.
orbit motion that they go back out the back door. Texas
Orbit
ran
motion
that
return.
Orbit return. Yeah.
It was Xavier Worthy.
Keelan Robinson against Texas Tech.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Keelan Robinson is wild.
Devontae Smith at Alabama too.
That's pretty.
Yes, that is exactly where that's good luck covering that in man.
I don't know about y'all. I like toss sweep there though.
Hey, I will say that I did hear both Jim Knowles and Caleb Downs say they thought it was a good play call, but I will say, I guess,
yeah, of course,
when your opponent likes to play call, it ain't. I don't know how good it is.
Yeah. Caleb Downs says, "I'm 3 yards off the line of scrimmage with no pass responsibility. I love this play. Nobody's going to get a hat on me."
Too soon, Jerry. It's too soon, my man. Too soon, according to Griffin. Jordan GH putting salt in our not putting, he's pouring. He's like opening up the whole.
That's my wound too, guys. It's not y'all's. It's all of ours.
Oh man, that's great.
Hey, this is a decent question. We don't talk about Sand Taco, S&D Tacos. Can anybody tell me why Texas also has so much issue going under center? I mean, that's just not. Quinn gets tripped up underneath there, or I thought he did. He doesn't have the best feet under center, right? I mean, and he doesn't have any leverage if he wants to run a. I mean, he's not good at the QB sneak. He just doesn't have the power in his legs, right? Am I wrong about that? What do y'all think?
I just don't think no quarterbacks practice it anymore. So now it's so unnatural because in from high school to college, nobody does anything under center. Every time Sark has a quarterback under center, something freaky's happening. It's going to be a double reverse pass or something. So, you know what I mean? It's just, they never do it. So I think the quarterbacks, I think they could adapt to it, but for some reason, Sark doesn't think that it's worth it. I think they should have at least a quarterback sneak under center in the playbook, but I don't think they have that either.
Yeah, you also just you didn't have a quarterback that could move very well, and you're asking him to move more than he's used to. It's just more, opportunity for error, and that's why I don't think it was a big part of the Texas offense for Quinn. And Rod, we talk about whenever you see things that is out of the ordinary for an offense, alarm bells start ringing, right? We actually just saw that on that last play that Notre Dame cornerback that was in man coverage on Jeremiah Smith was alerting motion was coming, and guess what? That film or what like thereof film in that specific play was designed to break the tendencies that they had used previously in the year. Wide open. It was a great call, but for Quinn under center, it's a lot of movement for a guy that doesn't move very well.
Hey, Jackson Miles with a great quote here. Or a ball when he does go up in there, or a ball is going. Someone's like, let me ask y'all this question.
Exactly.
Was Texas trying to run that play last year against Alabama?
Oh,
yes.
maybe.
Yes,
you're right.
Remember that kind of weird.
Yeah, they were exactly what they were running, and it hit that.
It was going to be a direct snap to Jonathan Brooks.
Yes,
right.
And it just backfired. That's insane. And everybody was like, "What in the hell was that?"
Yeah, that's a good point.
That ended up being their play. That's interesting.
Hey, I wanted to bring this up because this was brought. Somebody brought. It may have been King Kunta that brought this up, but I hadn't thought about it. But I actually love the thought. When you get inside the 2 next year and you're in that 1st and goal from the 3, 2, 1, I just want to say this. Nick Townsend at running back, if you want to get creative, is not the worst idea I've ever heard. He played Wildcat quarterback in high school. They played him at tailback. And I'm here to tell you, Rod, he's hurt, dude. I'm telling you. Everybody's watched him. And he is physical as hell when he gets the football. He could do some damage there. He could be a potential short goal line back for Texas. He's done it before, and he has got a high level of physicality to him. And
I like that idea because I think one of the issues for Texas in the red zone and on the goal line, I've talked about my Bijan Rojo hangover theory for Sark in the red zone in terms of the play calling. It's just a running back. I think there are certain skill sets for running backs in that short, really constricted area of the field. And that some guys, their running style really fits that area of the field. Now, like I said, that's up to a coach to be able to decide what that skill set is. But I don't know. When I watch some of these guys run, hell, Notre Dame got a running back, Love. He's like that. Judkins is like that. I'm like, now when you can give them the rock inside the 10, inside the 5, and I almost feel like their skill set will not let them be denied when they're down there. So I don't know if Texas, not that Texas running backs are, I don't necessarily think that their running backs are bad running backs or that they're not good running backs at all or not effective. It's just a different skill set for that constricted area of the field in the red zone and on the goal line.
Rod, there are guys that have played at Texas that were better on 3rd and 1 than they ever were on 1st and 10.
Cody Johnson.
He
would have been the perfect back on this team.
You remember Chris Robertson?
Yes, I remember him. Yeah,
it's on 3rd and 1.
He was long too. Yeah,
1st and 10, he wasn't very good.
Yeah,
he'd go for a 3-yard loss.
Mm-hmm.
3rd and 1, 3rd and goal from the 1. He's money.
Yep.
I mean, it works both ways, right? So they may not be Trey Wisner on 1st and 10, but put them on the goal line, they may be better. It happens. I mean, everybody has different strengths. I will say this: the 2 running backs in this game for both teams, excellent NFL prospects and players. There is no doubt they run hard, they're physical, they have ability. They're going to have guys, in my opinion. Price and Love are NFL guys, in my opinion, for Notre Dame. And, of course, as we know at Texas, Henderson and Judkins are definitely for Ohio State as well. Let me ask you this, and this is one that I had a question for. Let me write it up here. For RL from Texas. And this is what we've been saying with that inside run. Just because you have big humans doesn't mean they are more physical or stronger.
Agreed.
Just saying. 100% agree. Because Hayden Conner is a big dude. Hayden Conner's not a powerful offensive guard by comparison to most offensive guards that are going to play in the NFL. That's not his game. He's into screening people out, right? And blocking them off as opposed to moving them. Now, it doesn't mean he can't move people occasionally, but he's not taking someone that submarines him and actually moving him. Yeah. He's going to get stymied in that regard, in my opinion.
This is a big second series for Notre Dame. They need to possess the ball a little bit here because Notre Dame's defense is already on their heels.
Oh, that's why Riley Leonard will have problems playing in the NFL. CJ Vogel,
just hitting that simple.
That was real.
Yeah.
Is something wrong with his arm?
Yeah. Might be, though, Jerry.
Dude, his right forearm, he was grabbing his right forearm on the bench. He got slammed on his shoulder on that run. I don't think the guy's going to be able to throw the ball effectively.
That looked ugly. I'll tell you that much.
That looked like Quinn after he got hurt against UTSA.
Now, they went with a heavy. Now, they went back to 6 in the box, but they're bringing us 7. 6. Yep. Both safeties come down. You do not want to be in bad down and distance situations if you're
not against this defense. Yeah.
I was gonna say false start Cam Williams, but the chat wouldn't have taken that well.
Oh,
come on. See, these are why Aggie fans shouldn't take Jerry's trolling personal. He even trolls his own people.
I troll myself. I troll myself.
Josie's in the chat going crazy right now.
I troll myself. Y'all should have heard myself talk on the free throw line in high school. I was like, you missed one last week. You're going to miss another one here if you don't concentrate.
Oh,
God, what an athlete!
That's a good play.
What an athlete, dude!
Uh-oh.
They call a flag. They call a hold.
Yeah, we got.
They call a hold.
Ooh.
Was it now 2nd and 25?
Hold it. Yep.
Go ahead and get the punt team out there.
Oh,
you're kicking on 3rd down. You're not even gonna kick on 2nd down.
You guys go right. Let's go throw a pick on it anyway.
Hey, here's a great question. I'm sorry. How would Texas and Notre Dame have matched up?
That's good. That's good. You know what? The problem would be Texas wide receivers aren't all great versus man. Sark would have to scheme open a lot of things, which he can. Targets to motion, that kind of stuff. That play right there, the arbor return motion. He'd have to scheme on some things because they don't have a lot of guys that can just go win, right? That's our Ryan Wingo conversation we were having. Like a guy that's, hey, one-on-one, go win. And other guys don't necessarily win versus man. That's what Georgia did a lot of. Georgia played a lot of man.
Would Sark have just had so many? Would Notre Dame's corners travel with motion? Rod, would be one question.
Great question.
Because if they did, then Sark can motion and create some matchups. But now I will say this: the one thing, Bryant Young's kid is a really good young pass rusher. Notre Dame, Riley Mills hurt. Notre Dame, they lost All-American corner Ben Morrison, and I thought this might be the game that catches up with them defensively. But could they have really rushed the passer against Texas would be my question.
Boy, I tell you what, they're the right tackle for Notre Dame. The tackles got abused. I guess that was Sawyer again, making sure that ball got off quick. Is that who cut? Yeah, 33.
That was him. That's him.
Yeah. He made sure that was a 3-man rush too. Yeah.
When they can pin their ears back, you got problems.
That's an NFL player too, by the way. For Notre Dame. Yep. Absolutely.
The other issue Texas might have had with Notre Dame's defense is watch how many plays Ohio State is making with Will Howard on the move.
Oh, yeah.
Pocket, play action, moving pocket, misdirection, moving pockets. That wouldn't have really been in the playbook for Texas in this game.
That's a good point.
What is the penalty here?
I think they're trying to sell as many $3 hot dogs as possible. Did y'all see the food prices today? CJ, I'm sure you saw that. You're on social media. Yeah. Did you see the food prices tonight? They're like the lowest in history, right?
That's the glory of Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
It really is, by the way.
Atlanta, right? That's the owner.
What is it, like $5 20-ounce beer or something like that? Like the food. No, it's a Chick-fil-A city and state. So there's Chick-fil-A's all throughout the
and Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola.
It's a great concession stand stadium. It's awesome.
Hey, by the way, speaking of concession stands, I got this from the college football quarterfinal in Atlanta. This is a little water bottle. Not water bottle, what do you call it? Just a glass that I got, a cup from the game. It is very cheap there because Arthur Blank is the owner of the Falcons. He tries to make it as family friendly as possible to go to a game there.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
If somebody did say tickets were $1,800, so I guess that is the trade-off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, everything and parking is probably what? Takes me like 68 to $80 to park. Yeah, but it's all good.
Oh, they fined. Did y'all not hear about this? They fined somebody for exorbitant pricing in Atlanta. Somebody was trying to sell 25 parking spaces at $1,000 a piece.
Wow. What?
It's right next to the stadium. Yeah, apparently some kind of usury law or something. They fined the owner of the parking lot.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I would leave my car. I mean, at that point, don't you just want to get helicoptered in? I mean, seriously.
You got that kind of bread. Yeah, what you doing? Why you want to pop anyway? What you doing?
What kind of car do you have, first of all? You'd have to be one of these players on NIL.
Oh, that is crazy.
All right. Hey, we got some more comments here. This one from Drew Lockhart. OTF, if Wise earns our running back 1 this coming season, what will improve? Is there?
He's gonna add some weight, isn't he? He's adding weight, right?
Yeah, he will add weight, and I think he'll get better.
210. Yeah, he'll be 210 next year.
But I don't know that he's ever going to be a great inside runner. That's not who he is.
No. I think if your inside zone game comes back next year, it's going to be one of 3 guys. It's going to be worse CJ Baxter's health. Does Jarrett Gibson take the next step, hold on to the football? And does James Simon bust through the door in spring practice?
Yeah.
I think James Simon, and I'm not comparing him and saying he's been as good, but Tashard Choice told CJ Vogel, he said, reminded him a little of Jonathan Brooks. And I think from a running style, there are some similarities there. I'll say that.
Well, I hope he bounces off of people and maintains balance like Jonathan Brooks did. Jonathan Brooks, I remember that in high school, Jerry. When Texas took him, people are saying, why is Texas taking this running back from Hallettsville? He's not as highly rated as everybody else. And I was like, dude, have you watched his film? He's phenomenal.
And plays until he cramps too.
Yeah. And plays so hard. I mean, pretty impressive overall, in my opinion. If he's as good as Jonathan Brooks, Texas got a winner. So they're showing some Texas highlights here of the zone coverage they had on Jeremiah Smith and the effective zone coverage. We're 12 minutes into the or 3 minutes in the second quarter, and this is Ohio State's only its second possession, guys.
Hey, Rod, how excited would you have been if your helmet was full of stickers? I mean, like he's doing it in college as a freshman. His helmet's full of stickers. That's used to be a high school thing you'd fill up by like game 9 if you're a great player. Dude, his helmet's full as a freshman. Well,
I think this is the whole thing. If they're going to start having 16 games, they're going to have start putting it on the pants too.
Yeah, right. It's a good.
They got so many games now. Give me a break.
That ball almost came out.
Yeah, it did. He popped it pretty hard, didn't he?
Ooh. Oh man, that's it. That I would say Ohio State doesn't look like they look the part out here.
Yep.
Against the Notre Dame defense, man, they look the part.
Notre Dame's in deep. Poo.
Yeah, just
let's see. They got to keep. Ohio State has to keep executing in.
If Notre Dame can't get any pressure, they're in deep poo in this game. I'll just tell you that.
Jerry, I don't even want to talk. What is that you even said? They dropped the defensive end in coverage there on an over. It's just not going to work.
Ooh.
Hey, Bobby, you missed a good Mando read.
Wow. Y'all about to see a really nice run.
That was a good read.
Yes.
Y'all about to see a nice run that basically just all.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, it's just.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. This guy's good, dude.
Rod's a full point and a half ahead of me right now.
He is a really good pass catcher too, Rod.
Hey, Rick Ambergy said something, and they showed it against Oregon. I thought from what I saw against Oregon, Ohio State has the best pony package in college football.
Oh no, they did. They did it against Texas on a big play.
Because it's a power guy and a speed explosivity guy that can also run it inside. But they had the best pony package going because Travion Henderson is tremendous out of the back.
One of their big plays against Texas was out of pony.
What's his name? Keyshawn Judkins decleated Jalen Gilbo.
Was that? Yeah, they had a couple of big plays out of pony.
Yeah, he put the crown of his helmet into Jalen Gilbo's chin.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why when Texas had Rojo and Bijan, that was the best pony package in the country, man. It was legit.
7 of 7 for 64. Doing his job. Not asked to do a lot.
Uh-oh. Man. Look at you. I don't understand that.
Scrambling quarterback.
Exactly. Like, what are you doing? You can't you know you got one of them. How you gonna let him do it?
Hey, Oregon let him do that with 5 seconds left on the clock.
Hey,
no side.
12 men on the field.
They play so much man, their backs are all turned to the QB.
That's it.
Man, somebody watching the quarterback.
And let's be real. This is why it looks like Ryan Day is going to get over the hump this year. He's had some great quarterbacks. I mean, obviously CJ Stroud's a great player. Was he going to run the ball like that, or was he going to hang in the pocket and keep throwing it and throwing it and throwing it? They actually have a QB run element this year when teams play man against them that's different.
They brought a safety and it got picked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree with you, Jared. Yeah, they're gonna have to. They gonna have to go. They got to force to go to zone sometime. They got to do something.
And Kyle McCord, not a runner. CJ Stroud, he was going to throw it. He wasn't going to run it. Look, they have the element of that this year. If somebody plays man, they'll just run you out of plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you have to go with those wides. It's not like – and that's why Texas zone I thought the zone was more effective than I thought it would have been. I thought, but Ohio State didn't throw it over the middle on the crossers as much as they probably should have against Texas either, though.
They didn't. They tried a couple. Remember that deep one against Makuba early on? They tried Jeremiah Smith in that condensed set. That was a nice play, but Makuba just made a better play. That was a good play. He was one-on-one with Makuba. That's exactly what they wanted. Makuba just made a great play.
And Barron was a little underneath it, too.
Barron was on the other side. You're right. He was on the backside waiting on it. Yeah.
But what that zone did was take away the extended play scrambles from Will Howard.
That's true. You had eyes on the quarterback.
That's right.
Everybody had eyes on the QB.
The only run he had, that's why they didn't call QB run in that game until they absolutely had to have it at the end.
You're right.
It literally wasn't there for them in that game.
Yep.
Or in their eyes, it wasn't there.
Y'all see the final score of the women's basketball game today?
Yeah,
I thought it was up early.
Dude,
I don't know.
I mean, they played Maryland. Maryland's number 8 team in the country.
Yeah.
How'd they beat them by?
38.
Damn.
89 to 51.
Yeah.
It was 48-18 at half.
Man.
If y'all didn't see Tom Herman's tweet, he said, I didn't know that was possible against Maryland.
Man, Vic
Jerry's just pulling them all out tonight.
I know. See, Jerry's trolling everybody, but don't take Jerry's trolling personal. Sooner fans or A&M fans. He's trolling his own tonight. He's like,
Tom Herman would only been down by 10.
Everybody. Jet sweep.
It's still running Sam Ellinger up the middle.
Jet sweep. Stop the jet sweep.
I can tell you this. If Vic Schaefer would have been coaching that football team, he wouldn't have had Malcolm Roach playing middle linebacker. Okay. That's the one thing I can tell you.
Here's a good one from Daniel Earp. Is our running offense better than pass pro next year? What do you think of that, guys? Jerry, CJ Rod, predicated on the offensive line, I think to a degree, right? I don't think, and I'll say this, I don't think Trevor Gooseby is a step backwards in pass protection for Texas, even though Kelvin Banks just won the Outland and then Lombardi. Trevor Gooseby's not a step backwards. Now, he may be a step backwards a little in run blocking. He doesn't have that base like Kelvin Banks does. But I think they may be a better run blocking team on the interior next year.
I agree.
More of a downhill type attack. I think they move. I will say this, and somebody mentioned it earlier, and I can't remember your name. I'm right off the top of my head, but you said something that just because you're big doesn't mean you're physical. And I think that Hayden Connor and to a lesser degree, Jake Majors, were not the big physical type that Sark and Flood are accustomed to. Not saying they weren't great Longhorns, okay, but not necessarily that downhill attack that downhill run game that you might look for. Sark came in running inside zone, right? That's what he loved to do. I don't know that those guys were ideally made for that type of run scheme.
Yeah.
Man. Notre Dame's front's interesting.
Yeah,
they have a lot of quick guys on that front, Jerry. A lot of
they're
really
missing Riley Mills. They're missing their guy. They're missing their bigger frame guy.
Yeah.
Yes, they really are. I mean, because Bryant Young is going to be negated in this stud freshman. He's going to be negated in this game because, one, Ohio State's going to play ahead of the chains, and two, they'll just move the pocket. They're not going to make him a sitting duck in this game. So Bryant Young, I'm not saying he's not going to make a play. He's a really good player, but his strengths are going to be negated in this game.
Will Howard's on right now. Those are throws that Will Howard's making that Riley Leonard can't.
Yeah.
The short crossers on target.
Yeah, and he knows what they're running. I mean, they're not trying to disguise much. There's no disguise really happening. He knows he's just playing a lot of man coverage.
What do y'all think? What Notre Dame? I could call Notre Dame if Notre Dame had the ball right here at 3rd and 2. It would be a 5 wide, run the quarterback. What's Ohio State's plan?
You just might have hit the nail on the head there, sir.
Yeah.
Might have hit the nail on the head.
Third short, spread them out.
Yep.
Justin's the lead blocker on that because he's the one that knocked the you-know-what out. Let's see what he does here. He picked that guy up. Sure did.
Yeah.
Easy.
Hey, if Ohio State scores here, couches are running for their lives in Columbus.
Couches at all Little Kings.
Yes.
They're going to be sold out in the stores there in Columbus. That's a beer that's popular in Ohio.
Like I said, man, there's some running back style of play in these really condensed, short areas that they won't be denied.
Judkins, dude, what a hammer.
Right, like, you got to find your running back like that. There are certain running backs like they know they're money in the red zone, man. They're just
I think he's short here. I could be wrong. They need to relook at this.
I'm battling lag. No one tell me.
Boom.
Do you have YouTube TV?
Oh
CJ?
my gosh.
What do you have?
Not
What
in
a
my room,
superstar.
no.
This is the best run I've ever seen in my life, CJ. Unbelievable.
Best you've ever seen in your life. Come on, Jerry Hamilton. My God. Much hyperbole?
I'm messing with CJ. He's got a lag.
Oh.
Jerry's trolling everybody. Oh man, I'm telling you, that dude, he won't be. That dude gets inside the 5, inside the 10. He's going.
That's
Yeah.
a good form to get.
I think he's in.
You ain't gonna stop him, dude.
Yeah.
He scored from the 9 against Texas.
I want to congratulate Judkins on leaving the SEC to get his title.
That's fair.
Hey, would Ole Miss have been? How much better would Ole Miss have been with him this year?
Oh man, they
had a good running back, but they didn't have him.
Bobby, they went from him to a scat back of sorts a lot of the time. Like it cost him 2 more games.
85 did a great job there. I don't know who that tight end is.
Their tight end role players are tremendous blockers. The kid 89 is awesome for them too. The transfer from was it Kent State or somewhere like that, Toledo?
Yeah.
85 is the one that made that block. He looked really good.
No, I do. I think Gibson has that ability. He's got to work on his ball security and other things.
You think Jared Gibson has that ability?
Not to be that guy. I'm just saying, like, the ability to be a impact runner in that red zone goal line space. I think he's got some of that. Now, he didn't have the twitch though. He's just more of a downhill guy, and that can bounce off and that can break tackles. But Texas, I think Texas needs to go find a running back like that. Do they have a running back like that on the roster is the question.
All right, I'm back. But I'm on the Skycast. So give me the all 22 view, guys. I'll tell you what you missed.
I like that. I like that view. That's a good view.
Tell me how
Bobby,
many open receivers Riley Leonard is missing. How about that?
Yeah. Hey,
I'll
Bobby,
get
here's a
Tyler
good
going.
question. Here's a recruiting question from the past. He asked me, but either one of us, have you ever found a really good prospect up in the Northeast?
He's in Baton Rouge now.
Pat Ricard came up a few years after me. Bobby, who is the best Northeastern guy?
Well, the best I ever saw in person. Well, do you consider New Jersey the Northeast?
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw Ron Dane in high school.
There you go.
He pretty good.
Dominic Easley, when I was ESPN Under Armour, we had in the Under Armour game, and he was from the city. He's the best player from the city I've ever seen.
There's a running back from Long Island named Jason Gwaltney that signed with West Virginia.
I remember him.
He's a tremendous high school player. Had a knee injury though.
Was Donovan McNabb a city kid, or was he upstate New York kid? I
wasn't. That wasn't for me. He was before my time. Trying to remember who else I went up and saw. Do you consider Pennsylvania Northeast?
I consider more New York, New Jersey, Delaware, up north Maine, Rhode Island. Christian Wilkins in the NFL, Clemson, was from Connecticut. He was probably the best from Connecticut I've ever seen. Donovan McNabb was a Chicago kid.
How about Aaron Hernandez from Connecticut?
Wow. Talk about a multi-dimensional player.
Wow.
Jerry. Just bad, dude. You're just bad.
Wow.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Rhode Island. I've seen Mike Cloud. I think he played in the NFL. He's from Rhode Island. Saw him one time. Went and saw. So the best program, the Hasselbacks, came from Zavarian Brothers in Boston, and I saw both of them in high school. And then I went and saw a guy at Brockton, Massachusetts. But there's just not many.
Christopher Weatherford brought up a good one. I should have had that when we had him in the Under Armour game. It was tremendous. Chris Godwin from Middletown, Delaware. Good one. Good call. He's a really good player. Wide out. Oh, Mike Hart, New York. Mike Hart, New York. Good job, Marco Mendez. That's a good name. It's a blast.
Anaconga or something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, let's a question for you guys as we look at this. What does Notre Dame have to do to stay in this game? They have to do something here, right? Don't you think?
Test these Ohio State cornerbacks.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
With Riley Leonard, though,
you gotta find chunk yardage somewhere, and that's the easiest way where to do it. I mean, we were talking about it in the week leading up to the Cotton Bowl. Who the cornerback opposite of Denzel Burke? His name's escaping me. 17 penalties on the year. Texas tested him once, had a penalty or a holding on him. Denzel Burke, a guy that's given up 80% of his targets this year at the outside cornerback spot. That's the weakest link on this Ohio State defense is getting the ball to the outside against these corners. Now you got to keep it away from Lathan Ransom and Caleb Downs. The other issue, and this was my biggest concern coming into the game, does Notre Dame have the speed and the talent outside to get this to a possibility? Because everything about Notre Dame's offense screams inside zone, tight ends, 12 personnel, quarterback power. They got to find chunk yardage somewhere, and I don't think it's going to be up the gut against this Ohio State defense.
I agree, CJ. I think you're right. And that's the challenge, right? Because that means Riley would have to, from the pocket or at least on the move, be able to make throws outside the numbers.
They can't live with 2 straight 3-and-outs, can they?
Nope.
No, because their defense is in trouble right now.
And that pass rush is going to start getting home as this game moves along.
Yeah, that's the true freshman left tackle.
Yeah,
they had the mesh concept came open. He flushed out the opposite way. Sorry, for my all 22 view, I see it differently.
Oh yeah, there you go. Well, listen to you, fucking all smart and stuff.
Oh man, yeah, this could get ugly.
Yeah, no.
This one does not. Riley Leonard is gonna. Oh,
that's ugly.
I tell you, these edge rushers, JTT and Jack Sawyer, that's how you win a championship.
Well, they you know what? They can play the run as well as the pass too.
They do. That's what they do. They set the edge.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, so here's a little discussion. Let's move this to Texas a little bit.
Oh.
So next year, Ohio State's going to lose 9 or 10 defensive starters, quarterback, both running backs, back at wide out, both tight ends. I mean, they lose a lot off this team. Notre Dame loses Riley Leonard, a number of defensive guys off this team. Not really a big portal school necessarily. You look at this game right now, both of these, I mean, look, Ohio State's going to sign a top 5 class every year. Marcus Freeman's going to sign a top 10-ish class every year at Notre Dame. And I think they do a really good job of evaluation and development. But, you know, what are some of these teams going to look like? Georgia lost a lot of early entries to the NFL. I think more than I thought they would, like with Dylan Fairchild leaving at left guard. They're going to have to rebuild their offensive line. First-year starting quarterback. ETN's gone. It's going to be really, because we focus so much on who Texas loses. But if you look around, there's a lot of teams that were in this playoff, late in this playoff. Penn State kept their quarterback and backs, though, but they're going to lose a lot off defense. Mm-hmm. Teams are going to be losing a lot. There's a lot to replenish for these, and it's reloads, but there's still a lot that has to be reloaded with these teams.
Well, Jerry, we could talk about it all we want, but now that Clemson's playing the portal game, I mean, it doesn't even matter, right?
Doesn't matter.
I mean, to that point, though, the returning quarterbacks that we've talked about in the playoff, Drew Aller is one. That's a good play. Saved a touchdown. Drew Ellers one, Cade Klubnik another. Look, Sam Levitt coming back to Arizona State. If you don't think that they're going to be the favorites to win that conference,
19 starters back. 19.
That's going to be huge. I mean, that was a really good team, a scrappy team coming back again in that Big 12. I'd like to see who could compete with that. I know Texas Tech's trying to buy their way into a Big 12 championship, and I'm all for it because I think that conference can get chaotic at times, but you have to like where Texas is sitting right now, even with a new quarterback taking over and some new key pieces as well.
Something's going on here. Big third down play for Ohio State, by the way, guys.
Ooh, that's a nasty play call.
Yeah, that was not a good one.
Oh,
See what happens on third down here.
yeah.
I think CJ's ahead of us now.
That was a good play.
Skycast sped me up.
CJ got him.
That's with the rope-a-dope.
I like that. I mean,
This is a really cool view. If you haven't watched a game like this yet, it's really cool to get this view.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I don't know, Bobby, when you used to scout games, Rod, when you went to games, but growing up, because my dad was a coach, they always set in the end zone, the scout teams, and it's the best view to watch a game. It really is the best view to actually watch the play-to-play happen is from the end zone.
Yeah. Okay.
I would disagree with that. I just tell you, I would watch from about the 50.
Yeah, I like the end zone view. Watch it all.
I get it, but you can't see. I don't know.
That was
there you go.
That was really well done by Will Howard. He's 11 of 11 now for 103, by the way.
Yeah, on the third down conversion.
Goodness.
Well, man, they're in man coverage all the time, so it's just separation. Now you got to put the ball on the money. But
Man, I don't know, Rod. Man to man against what, 4, maybe 5 5-star kids?
that's what I'm saying. I'm with you. I'm saying they should disguise and like try to play zone or switch it up a little bit. I'm with you. It ain't working right now.
Again, the crazy thing, though, is if Notre Dame gets a hole here, you're sitting at 14-7 at the half. You wouldn't feel like Notre Dame's necessarily in the game, but if they get a stop here, you're sitting at 14-7 at the half.
That's true.
It's 2-minute warning too. Yeah, to your point right now.
But at the same time, and Ohio State gets the ball, by the way, this is a big – oh, boy. Do we have to relive this? But this is a big play here for play for Notre Dame in series for Notre Dame because Ohio State does get the ball to start the second half. So if you give up 7 here, it's looking daunting at 21-7, and Ohio State gets the ball to start the third.
Here's the other – I mean, you realize we're to 2 minutes left in the first half, and Ohio State – this is only the third time they've had the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is and Notre Dame's gone 3 and out twice, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's not like they had that 1 18-play drive, but they've had 2 3 and outs. And yet Ohio State's only had the ball.
And how many penalties? How many penalties have we had?
4 or 5. I think all of them on Notre Dame, by the way.
4 or 3. Yeah.
Real quick, as surprising as this quarter's been, obviously, with that long 10-minute drive, Ohio State now up to more plays, offensive snaps than Notre Dame, 26-24, and they're 40 seconds apart on time of possession. So that 3 and out or really quick second drive from Notre Dame, that's been a killer so far.
Second and third drive for Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Both
Ohio State 5 of 5 on third downs so far. So this is Notre Dame's looking for their first third down stop of this game.
Man.
They should try for an incompletion.
Yes.
Force an incompletion just once.
Well,
If they came out in some fake zone look, Ohio State wouldn't know what to do. They'd call a timeout immediately.
Just at least show man and
show zone, and Ohio State would be over there calling timeout.
Just have any disguise and then switch it up. I agree because right now they seem to be playing man and they are not disguising it. But pre-snap, it's like, oh, it's man. Oh, it's man. Okay. And they're eating it alive right now.
Hey, by the way, I should know this, but I don't. What NFL jobs are still open? Has anybody been hired yet?
I think the Bears are hiring the Lions guy, right?
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson to the Bears.
Raiders, Cowboys, Jags, Jets. I feel like I might be missing one, but
Is there a job? is
Are
there
we
a
hearing
job for
Aaron
Ryan
Glenn
Day?
with the Cowboys or not? Are
Saints.
y'all still hearing Aaron Glenn with the Cowboys?
I think they may be trying to get permission to interview him at this point. Well, yeah, because he's done. But
Yep.
yeah, he's now. There's a Schottenheimer that's on the list now too for the Cowboys.
Oh,
There's no
Brian?
hope.
Brian Schottenheimer?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that today. I was like, what? Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
So we'll see what Jerry does.
So is there not a job out there for Ryan Day was my question. If he wins this, is there a job out there for him or not? He was linked to the Bears, but obviously that's not happening.
Saints, Raiders,
Jaguars.
Jags, Jets.
Ryan Day at the Saints with that dark beard would crack me up for some reason.
Be
Like
awesome.
old Lafitte's Cove
He
pirate.
that beard with Mardi Gras beads would be awesome.
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking. Trips.
Oh, nice throw.
And Daniel Earp, that's kind of my point. He's like, if he wins, Ryan Day should get out. Look, I think timing is huge. Like a guy like Matt Campbell missed his window to get out of Iowa State when he had Iowa State winning at the highest level it ever had. Man, if I'm Ryan Day with this guy was almost fired 2 months ago, and now he's about to win a national championship.
Hey, that was Tate, right? Since I'm not listening.
That was Tate. They played a little zone. I think they played zone there, so they tried. He bailed out.
Yeah.
Did you see the pocket there, though? How clean that pocket was?
Pristine.
I think I might be able to step up in that.
Right? Pristine. Ooh, good play.
Yep. They got some quick guys on Notre Dame's defense. They recruit a type.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
They may have more instinctive players in their front than anybody else.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, right? That they recruit a type.
Yeah.
Play really well with their feet and their hands.
Mm.
And that's not a negative to anybody else. It's just
when you take a front seven that's instinctive, those guys that are instinctive are normally very coachable. If you put instinctive and very coachable in a front seven, those teams play really sound football. Doesn't mean they can't be beat. I mean, Ohio State's got better players across the board, but they are.
I'll say this: from the looks of this game, if Ohio State puts points on the board here, I have a hard time seeing Notre Dame do anything.
Yeah,
They got come back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not who they are.
Nope.
Hey, Bobby, somebody said you look really relaxed this game. What's your blood pressure? About 90/80 right now?
I think it may be 120/80 about this moment because I don't have to worry about the Longhorns. You know, that's a true statement. They look like this is zone to me. They're going to drop into it.
I think they are switching it up though. They decided to switch it up.
Nice catch. Jeez.
Yeah.
God.
See that. So that's the crazy thing about
That is a. If y'all watch this, this is a hard catch.
Very difficult.
Oh, right out of the break.
Here's the crazy thing. So this is like in our business. Sometimes when you see a guy, but for those that just joined us, Bobby, I think asked about if I saw Jeremiah Smith in high school. I saw him at the Under Armour camp in Miami before his junior year, and he dropped like 4 or 5 balls that day. And you left there saying, man, was he just not correct? Did he just not concentrate? Was he up late last night? Him and his girlfriend fighting? Does he not have great hands? You just didn't know that day. But man, that's just, you got to see these guys. Sometimes you see them on the wrong day and it makes you question what's true or not. That's a hell of a catch.
Ooh.
Did he catch it?
No, he knocked it away. It was a good play by the defense.
Yeah.
He knocked it away. They tried their wheel route. Texas kept getting them on. Like, we're going to get it too.
Left guard got whooped.
Yeah, he did. Oh, barely. Good job by the DB.
Yeah.
That was a good play.
That ball's a little outside. That guy's getting called for a flag, though, because he's impeding progress. Not a great throw.
Man.
Is that his first incompletion? Wow.
Yes.
With 1:12 left in the first half. First incompletion.
Man.
Little draw here. What are they going to do? No.
Okay, this is.
Oh, they Oh,
Yep. Man.
That happens when you bring the blitz, playing man.
Party of the Red Sea right there, baby.
Bring the blitz, playing man. If you don't tackle him at the line of scrimmage, he's off to the first down races.
Why are they hustling here?
Oh man. Yeah, they're trying to get
Ooh, good hit.
They're trying to score
touchdown.
twice.
They want a touchdown.
They're trying to score twice. Notre Dame can't move it.
This very well could be 28-7 in a matter of about
Yeah,
5 minutes.
Fast,
Of
yeah,
time.
man. They're like, let's go. Let's go. They know they're tired, dude. They're tired. They're worn out.
Yep.
They're worn out. Back-to-back 3-and-outs, they're worn out.
Rick Ambergi asked, any chance Blue gets invited to the Combine? I would think he gets invited
Oh,
to the
yeah.
for
They
sure.
want to see how he runs.
Yeah, and there's two things that can make Jaden Blue money at the Combine. First is the 40 and the speed testing, agility testing. Rod, the second one is the gauntlet.
The hands drill, yeah. The hands,
Gauntlet.
Yep, the hands. When they see him go through with the hand, they're like, he's a receiver, basically. He's like, yep.
Yep. If he shows out in the gauntlet, because
Mhm.
there will be the NFL, when they get into his game by game, they're going to see more drops from Jaden Blue in the passing game than they would expect with his hands.
Yep.
So he needs to have a great gauntlet and drill day at the Combine with his hands.
Totally agree. And then if he does that, I guarantee there'll be like 6 to 8 offensive minds in the league, head coaches, coordinators, and play callers. They'll be salivating over him. Like, man, I really want him, coach. Like he's really high on my list because he can be a weapon for me. The other team may not know how to use him, but we will know how to use him.
I'm not even going to get to a prediction on his 40 time. I'm giving that up for good.
I think 4-3.
4-3-0.
Yeah. For Jaden.
By the way, Hoodwink 210 says, GH, is Texas recruiting the 15-year-old receiver from DeSoto? If you're talking about Booby Feaster, yes, Texas has offered. He's been on campus 2 or 3 times, and Texas will be in that recruitment. They'll be in that recruitment if they want to be. He's a really good player.
Hey,
But he's not as good as DeCorian Moore. But just by the way, he's a good player, but he ain't DeCorian Moore.
I don't think he's as good as Jalen Lott. I noticed that list you put up, Jerry, it did the wide receivers this morning on Texas football. You didn't mention Jalen Lott. Is that because you now got him exclusively listed at DB, or do you have him as an athlete?
I have him as a corner. I talked to somebody over the weekend, and I think the thought is that corner is going to be his highest upside position, and the family realizes that.
That's a hell of a play. That's just a hell of a play. It's just a great play. This is why defending mobile quarterbacks is so difficult, because I got to defend 3 plays in one. I defend the initial play, and hey, that was great. My call was better than your call. Then it's due to a scramble, and there's a scramble drill. I got to defend the scramble drill play. And then on top of the scramble drill, he may decide to tuck it if the scramble drill is unsuccessful. It's a conundrum.
Load them up. Get the trophy out here.
Damn.
That's 27-13. I may be off by about 3 touchdowns.
By the way, this is LeBron's last shot of the championship, Ohio State.
Damn, LeBron catching strays too. LeBron? Yeah, you gonna take a shot at LeBron? Wow.
I mean, the Lakers aren't looking real promising to me right now.
Hey. How many? We gotta make a list of everybody that Jerry has trolled on the live stream tonight, so we can see how long the list is at the end.
Here's one. Juan Garza wanting to know: did Judkins leave Ole Miss on his own, or Ole Miss not want to pay him? I think that Ohio State was willing to pay whatever, maybe, on that one, and he wanted to go win a championship. But that's my thought process. Jason Washington, you put in a super chat, but did not see one here. A question. Let me know if you have it or re-put it in, and I'll try to draw it up. Brian Berg, hypothetical. If Jaden Greathouse enters the portal and wants to come home, does Texas take him? I would. Jerry, CJ, Rod?
Oh, absolutely would take him, but it's not happening.
Yeah.
Texas made a late run for him in that cycle, I believe. And
yeah.
I have a hard time seeing him ever leave Notre Dame, especially with the way that this season for him is going.
Hey, by the way, here's something to talk about, because the chat brought up a great topic. CJ Stroud, pocket guy, he can move a little bit, but he's still going to throw it. Kyle McCord, strict pocket guy. Ohio State this year has Will Howard, and that mobility is going to end up getting Day a national championship along with the talent they had. But then they're probably going to Julian Sand, more of a pocket guy again next year. True for a redshirt freshman, more of a pocket guy. I'm not saying he doesn't have functional athleticism, but not the same. So it's going to be interesting. This is, the guy with a little more mobility than what they've had, and they could move the pocket and do some different things with, is along with their talent, is going to be the difference for them.
I was just going to say that's how you defend a screen pass at the close of half, by the way.
Oh, man. Bow.
Bobby, you're mean.
Look at
Bobby. Look at Bobby out there killing
Just wanted to put that out there. All right, you know that I'm just joking, guys. All right, this one, Jason. This was Jason's super chat, Rod. Rod, would you ever consider coaching? I know you have actually, but sorry, he screwed up his super chat. But tell folks a little bit about your thinking about why you chose the career you did, because you're not. I will say this: you're not alone in this. I mean, a lot of people like yourself that have the aptitude and ability and the experience to go that direction, choose a different direction for various reasons. Even though you are, like say, a football investigator of sorts, why did you choose the reason that you did?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I've actually gotten a couple of offers, high school, college level to coach, and I got a lot of friends in coaching, some of my closest friends in the world. I kind of respect the institution too much for me to go into it, because I know myself too well now as a 43-year-old man. I know how obsessive I can be. And I can see myself really, kind of giving up some of the other things that I hold dear for football. And I've done that before in my life. Like, I put football first and put a lot of things that probably shouldn't have been secondary, put them on the back burner because I love football that much and want to achieve some things in football. So I don't want to become, I like my relationship with the game now. It's fine. If I get too close to the game, then I become obsessed with the game. And I don't want it to be something that kind of encompasses my entire world. I want to be a little bit more well-rounded. And I don't really trust myself with the game like that. If I'm become a coach, I'm going to be all in, and I can see a lot of other things falling to the wayside in my life because I become so obsessed with the game of football. So I had to go through that on my own to have a more healthy relationship with the game. So I like the relationship I have with the game now. And I like, having more of a well-rounded life. I got a lot of friends in coaching. They don't get to see their families a lot. They don't, there are some things they sleep on the couch at the facilities. They don't have to do that. There are a lot of coaches that make their coaches go home and hang out with the families because they know they have coaches that have that kind of personality, that have that almost addictive personality with the game. And they'll sacrifice things in their lives that they should be prioritizing because they want to be a great coach or they want to achieve something in coaching. So it's kind of a mental health, kind of personal decision for me because, I wanted to explore some other things in my life other than football, and I've been so obsessed with it for so long. So I still have a healthy, and I still make, who knows where life is going to take me. But I obsess enough with the game right now. And I think that's a healthy amount of obsession I have with it. And I don't want to cross that boundary again, potentially. There you go.
Wait. I got a comment. Just because you're not coaching a team doesn't mean you're not coaching. You help coach the chat.
I love exactly studying the game. I get to watch film.
You got your coaching rod.
Yeah, I'm studying. This is exactly the relationship I need with the game. And then every now and then I'll get to coach some young guys personally. I'll get to go to a camp. I've talked about that. That's enough for me because it's a love affair, right? And it's that love affair can be just like any relationship can be a toxic one if you allow it to become that. And I think at one point in my life, I had a toxic relationship with football. I don't want it to become that again.
I gotta tell you this. So talking about coaching. So when I graduated Texas, I went to work at the University of Houston in the recruiting department and grad school there. And when you talk about handing your life over to something else or someone else, I had to be at the facility at 5 a.m. every morning. And I didn't leave, including school. I didn't leave to go home until 7 p.m.
Yeah. That's life. Yep.
Okay. So, send out 400 letters to different prospects and from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., then get into the football for the day and all that. I mean, so I agree with it. That, the coach I was working for got fired. So that only took me about 4 months of my life. But then I went into the recruiting industry. It was from a media perspective, and it was totally different. I mean, the hours, I still put in a lot of hours. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't have to spend every waking minute at the facility somewhere else. I could actually be doing my job wherever I was. And I will say this, my wife is sitting here in the room. She is the first woman that made it through a football season with me. My girlfriend. So
that's how you knew.
Let's be clear about that. That's when I knew I had a keeper for sure. So that is, we've been married in a month and a half. Will be 25 years.
Whoa, that's beautiful.
Big number right there. All right, a couple other thoughts I had, and this is this is one that I thought was hilarious from Marco Mendez. Before we move on from that topic, Rod's DB room would be called the Baber Shop, not the barber shop, but the Baber Shop. There we go. This one from Brian Upchurch. I watched some Arch highlights from the season earlier, and it has me hyped for next season. There will be mistakes, but he should be a nightmare for opposing defense. We send the quarterback run. Rod, you and I have talked about it. CJ's talked about it. Jerry, throwing the ball downfield should be a different style of offense. And one of the things that Jerry talked about that I want to combine in with this is the type of receiver they've recruited of late as a byproduct of maybe Arch and or Trey Owens even, by the way. Trey Owens likes to drive the ball deep too, guys.
Yeah, he does.
And so they're going – now maybe they switch when they go to a KJ Lacey type, right? Or somebody like that. They get a little bit – but the type of receiver they're recruiting is different. Now, some people say, oh, they're still recruiting highly ranked receivers. We're not debating that. The issue, they're bigger, they're taller, they're lankier, they're more 50-50 ball guys, like Jerry's talked about. So I think there's a lot of that, a lot to that. Kelly Hill says, I'm watching. Watch with us. We are current. Kelly, thank you for watching. We appreciate you being here. We got to say the game right now is the question I have. Ohio State scores 3 points to start the third quarter. This game's over, right? There's no way Notre Dame can move the football down 17.
No, they need coverage busts.
I mean, it took them 18 plays to score on their opening drive, right? They had to go 2 for 2 on fourth downs. They've not had any success offensively since then. Again, you got to test the cornerbacks at some point. You got to test the ball down the field. Can you protect the quarterback? They haven't had a lot of time for Riley Leonard with these tackles trying to protect against JTT and Jack Sawyer. I don't think that this game has much life in it, and it has no life in it if Ohio State puts any points on the board to start the second half.
Yep, I agree. I think CJ's right. I think they got to take a shot sooner or later on the outside. Well, and you may need some time. You may need to do a match protection to do it, find your one-on-one, but it may get you a PI. It, may result in nothing, but you do have to test. They haven't tested the corners at all because Riley Leonard doesn't have the arm to do it, but every quarterback has a deep ball. I think and it may just be the boundary that they throw it to, closest one, so you don't go outside the numbers on the wide side of the field. But yeah, I think you need to take a shot at the corners honestly to start your first possession because you're going 3 and out anyway. And right now you're going at the teeth and the strength of the defense constantly, which is the front seven and the safeties trying to middle of the field. That's not where this offense is going to have any success. I'm with CJ. I think you got to try the corners. Maybe you bootleg and roll out to do it. Not sure how you want to try it, but that's where they need to go.
I almost think, I know it's going to sound bad, but if they go down by 3 scores, it's horrible to say. I think they may go to their backup quarterback because he's the only one that throws it really well. Like, he's a better thrower of the football than Riley Leonard. He's the guy out of New Jersey, Jerry. What is it, Agili or something like that? I can't remember his.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough to know if he's actually a better thrower because he hasn't done it.
He is a better thrower. I mean, I saw him twice this year.
Yeah.
He's a better thrower. He's a better thrower today. based on what I saw from Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
Today.
But somebody asked about Julian saying, I watched a lot of stuff on him. Really accurate now, really accurate passer. Now, will he be if he has Colin Simmons racing up into his peripheral? I can't say that. But in the high school level, I mean, he was a 75, 77, almost 80% pass completion guy playing in SoCal. Really good thrower of the football, natural passer. He can make all the throws. Sark would say it makes all the throws. I mean, Texas offered him CJ, I believe, way early on. He was a Sark offer guy. But once Arch came to Texas, that wasn't happening. But Sayin actually liked Texas.
He liked Texas a lot.
Yeah, CJ and I talked about this before. He liked Texas a lot, but once Arch came to Texas, it wasn't happening. Had Arch gone somewhere else, Sayin may be at Texas right now.
There was a 7-on-7 tournament down in Houston that he was playing in, and a pretty prominent NFL Texas tie agent was, he was scouting, if you will. And I could only imagine that had he ended up at Texas, he likely would have gone that route. I actually don't know where he did end up, but that he was close to pursuing Texas. I believe he reclassified, Jerry, if I'm not mistaken. And that reclassification was just too close to the Arch timeline as well. And that was a big reason why he I believe he dropped a top 5 that didn't have Texas in it after visiting Texas the month before. And, it worked out well for him. Obviously, he's about to take over at Ohio State. But
he signed with Alabama out of high school, and then Nick retired, right?
That's it. Yep. Good point.
And the crazy thing about how all this worked out was, so Kalen DeBoer, who had offered Sayin in high school too, goes from Washington to Bama. And Sayin's already signed on campus. And he says, no, I want my guy Austin Mack from Washington. So let's see how good Austin Mack is, because we've talked about this on the show with Alabama before. DeBoer literally left Washington, came to Bama, had Julian Sayin, and said, no, I want my guy that redshirted up here. So he must think Austin Mack is really, really good to do that. And then Sayin transferred to Ohio State.
All right. Hey, this one from Juan Garza. Did you all hear the rumors of Jim Knowles, the Ohio State defense coordinator, might go to OU? OU does not have a defense coordinator. Knowles apparently is either married to or dating a Oklahoma, a young woman who lives in the state of Oklahoma.
Ooh,
is the backstory there.
Wow.
I think that was according to, I think the Daily Oklahoman reported something like that. So yes, Juan, I have heard it. I don't know what it'll mean. And I also would ask you this. I mean, Brent Venables, I don't think he needs help on defense right now. I think he needs help on offense and maybe recruiting.
That would be a wild move if Jim Knowles did that.
That would be wild.
I mean,
are you subjugating yourself? Is Brent Venables subjugating himself if he does that? I mean, at some level.
Well, maybe Knowles is like, man, we're going to lose 10 starters to the NFL off this defense, and it's going to be a little bit of a step back next year, even though we have this much talent. Get a 3-year guaranteed contract in Oklahoma and only have to coach one of them.
Well, it always comes down to the lifeline of a head coach, right? Especially one that calls plays on the side of the football. What do? I'm going to relinquish myself from play calls. I'm going to hire someone else to come in and run my side of the ball, and we're going to be better next year. Well, if that doesn't work, that normally means that your time's come. Yep.
Yeah, yep. That's when you get the axe. When that one doesn't work.
But you're right, Bobby.
It's like Ryan Day this year. It's like Ryan Day this year. He gave up play calling to Chip Kelly, and the minute it didn't work, his head was on the chopping block.
Yeah,
against Michigan, was it not?
Hey, by the way, Bobby, one of the things you talked about too, and Ohio State fans, they're out of the chat now that they won the game, but even they agreed with this leading up to the game. If Boston College doesn't hire Bill O'Brien, is Ohio State playing right now?
Hell no. There's no chance.
I agree.
Do you think Bill O'Brien's just not a college coach?
I just don't think, and Will Howard, I'm not sure that was the match for him either. I mean, it's like that. I don't think they'd be playing right now.
No, because he asked his guys to be too perfect. They're not Tom Brady in college football.
Yep.
Well, they ain't, you can't ask college players to be too perfect. Yeah. That's why a running quarterback, even the NFL now has gotten, we see a Jalen Hurts out there. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. Is he a great quarterback? I don't know. He's a hell of a leader, and he freaking run the ball like a boss. I mean, and lead a team. I don't know. I feel like you coaches like Bill O'Brien rely too much on their kids being perfect, on 18 to 21-year-olds being perfect, and I don't think it works that well.
CJ, you want to read a super chat?
I do.
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh no.
Ohio giving Notre Dame that BTA
Belt to yeah.
So
who wrote that, by the way?
Colt Monroe.
Colt, good to see
Wow.
you back in the chat. Jerry, Bobby.
Wow.
Colt was giving us a Urban Dictionary lesson earlier today on some new hip lingo that even I wasn't privy to. So we're doing that once again tonight. Colt, good to see you, brother. Hopefully, Colt, I'll get to see you up for that. What is it? The baseball scrimmage, the alumni scrimmage. So if anybody else in town, I'll be making my way over there.
All right. Hey, you're going to you guys are covering, Jerry and CJ, you guys are covering the Junior Day this weekend.
Yeah.
Right. For Texas. Yeah. And CJ, you're going to the Shrine Bowl the next week, right?
No. So that's the same weekend. I'll be headed from Junior Day to the Reese's Bowl in Alabama.
Oh, the Senior Bowl. I said Shrine. I meant Senior Bowl. The one you're going to the one in Mobile.
Correct.
I got you.
That's where I think there's 5 Longhorns currently set to play in that one. I got a list over here. It's Gunnar Helm, Vernon Broughton, Alfred Collins, Barron Sorrell, and Andrew Makuba right now have been invited and accepted a roster spot for that Senior Bowl. Should be a good one with some really good talent all the way through.
Is there anybody in the Senior Bowl that played at Texas that transferred?
Ooh.
I don't think there is. That would have been like Jared Wiley last year. I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think there is. I don't think there is.
Hey, G-Man 345. Thank you, OTF, for best team in recruiting coverage. Broke my leg, tore my ACL and meniscus the weekend UTSA game. That is brutal, dude.
Oh man.
I hope it's you're on the mend now. Looking forward to the next tailgate. We're going to have some tailgates next year for sure. I can't wait to get back out there. We're going to do something for the spring game. Hope you can do that as well. We'll all be out there too. So hopefully you can do that. Tom G, any chance we get ranked number 2 in final poll after Indy gets boat raced? Sark, what could have been? Texas ranked number 2. I think
they're like that actually.
They're 3 at the highest, right? Because Georgia beat Texas twice, and they probably would have beaten Notre Dame had Carson Beck been available. So they're going to be in the top 4. I guess we're picking nits here. But what you said you like that, CJ? What
I don't like.
Oh, you don't like it?
I don't like jumping a team that played in the national championship. You know, and the path you could argue the path that they got, they're in the national championship, right? I think that's the 2 finalists for the season. They're 1-2, whatever order obviously dictates by the game itself. Texas, I think the ceiling is 3, the floor is 4. I mean, that's just the way it falls out. But was Texas a better team than Notre Dame? We'll never find out, but you certainly make the case, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rod, you have any one way or the other not really caring? What do you think?
Yeah, man, at that point into the season, man, I wouldn't care. I mean, you were one of the Final 4 teams. I think you take pride in that, you know, you were a couple of plays away potentially from making to a national title game. So it wouldn't matter to me. For Texas, the mission is simple now. Get to the national title game. I mean, get past the Final 4. Final 4 is us. It was awesome. Great to do it back-to-back years. Shows that Sark, indeed, his vision is coming to fruition. But now I think the Longhorns know what their mission is, and it's clear that the standard is the standard. You know, make it to that. So I don't care. End of the season, I don't know if I remember where I was ranked, the highest that my team was ranked when I left. I have no idea. I remember being pissed off that we lost to Tech at the end and missed out on the BCS chance. I remember being upset that we lost to Colorado in the Big 12 title game and missed out on a chance to play the national title. I have no idea what
I'm about to tell you, Rod Babers. I'm about to tell you. Keep
Please
talking. I'm going to tell you. Hold on. Let's see.
I have no idea.
Let's see. 5 in 2001.
Okay.
6 in 2002.
Okay. That's not bad. I mean, that's about right. We were close.
Yeah.
It's pretty strong, Rod.
By the way, this will be first back-to-back top 5 since 08-09, obviously. Some people in the chat say, why does it matter where you're ranked at the end of the year? The only thing I will say is it matters to the staff. It matters in recruiting. It matters to those guys and their bonuses and getting extensions. It matters for your program, too, to say, hey, man, we have back-to-back top AP poll, top 5 finishes. I mean, it says something about sustained success. I will say that. Now, it's a point. Oh, does it matter if you're 2 or 5? Not really.
Yep. Hey, CJ, I know you got to go. You got to get some allergy medicine in you as well as some food to go along with that. I appreciate you, bud, for stopping by. We're going to continue on here a little bit as we get ready for the second half.
We have to go without the all-22?
Yeah, we have to.
The Skycast.
Moved over to the command
came out
center.
the other end.
All the angles.
Oh, well, there you go, CJ. The mesh route came out the other end. That's the wrong end. Excuse me. That'll live forever. Thank you, CJ. Appreciate you, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
All right, hook 'em.
See you, buddy.
All right. Hey, this is one I wanted to talk about, Rod. Now that we have some extra time, you and I spent some time with Tim Brewster on this weekend for the Saturday conversation. Ralphie, I like Brewster. He would have had me sign with Texas. A lot of people reacted very positively to that interview. And I think that you guys, maybe some people for the very first time, got to understand what kind of force of nature he can be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He literally he can be a force of nature at some level. Jerry, you've known him for a while as well. And he's just a hell of a recruiter. Helped not only recruit Rod B, but a number of other Houstonians, and as well as Chris Sims and Bo Scaife to the university. He had Denver and then New Jersey.
I think he was from Jersey.
He's from Jersey, and then he had Houston.
Yeah.
Those were his recruiting territory. He recruited quite a few players from Colorado, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bo Scaife.
Holloway.
You got Bo Scaife, Holloway, yeah.
Studdard. Casey Studdard.
Yep.
Those guys.
Was he Lamar Houston, or had he already gone to the NFL?
He was gone.
One thing I would say, he compares different, but one way he compares to Shard Choice is that guys that have that initial energy and very positive energy draw in a lot of kids. He's a guy that you'll answer the phone for, right, Rod? I mean, you almost want to kind of, even if you didn't love him, you say, I just want to hear what he has to say today.
I call him the Ric Flair of recruiting.
Yeah.
Like he's just got some infectious energy, and I mean, that's just a taste of it, what you got on the interview. But he's like that all the time, man. He's got his energy level is really high. His spirit is always a positive spirit, and you just feel better about yourself around Brew. Like Brew, he's got that kind of ability to make you feel better about yourself, and almost kind of pumping you up and promoting you. So I always been a big fan of Brew. Brew is the reason that I'm close with Sims and Bo Scaife. I mean, he recruited all those guys, and then almost promoted us to each other. And to this day, I mean, we originally got cool because, Brew was, talking to us while recruiting us about each other. He's like, oh man, I got this, my boy Scaife up in Colorado. He told me to tell you what's up, Kool-Aid. And I'm like, what? Really? He's like, oh yeah, man. I've been talking to Sims too. I told Sims I got a corner down in H-Town. And he's like, really? You've been telling Sims? Now he probably was making all that up.
Oh, he 100% was, but it's great recruiting. Great recruiting.
But I believed it, and it actually came to fruition. We all ended up being really close friends. So Brew had that kind of power, man. So calling him a force of nature is pretty, I think, apropos.
You want to know how good a recruiter Tim Brewster is? He beat Phil Sims on his own kid.
Exactly. That is so great.
Sure, my dad won a couple of Super Bowls and wants me to play for Phil Foreman, but I'm going to go with Coach Brew down to Texas.
I would say this. I think a mighty Texas Angel might have had something to do with that a little bit too.
Hey, man. Hey, Austin, he loved Austin. I would say Sims loved Austin. It's a shame he hadn't been back enough since he left, but he did love the city too. He's a big fan.
Yeah. hold on one second, Jerry. I need to say this real quick. 3, Jeff Carey with a super chat. 3 handsome, chill fellas. Definitely a different vibe on this chat. Yes, there's no Texas football going on. We're actually just enjoying ourselves and having fun here, as opposed to straining ourselves over that.
As we get going, second half here, who has the top 1 to 4 running back rooms? Running back rooms are turning in the SEC.
Oh, in the SEC.
Florida has Jaden Ball, so that's a great starting spot.
Yeah.
Nate Frazier is going to be really good at Georgia in year 2.
He's not as good as Ball, though. He's not as good as Ball.
You know, what does Le'Veon Moss and Reuben Owens look like at A&M potentially?
Tremendous.
Yeah, but Moss has had 2 ACLs now, so is he going to be the same? You know, Tennessee loses Dylan Sampson. Alabama lost Justice Haynes, but I mean, they're bringing in some guys, but I'm guessing Florida's going to have the best back in the SEC next year.
Oh, I like Florida's guys. There's some good backs.
Yeah.
Yep, Florida has some good quality backs. What about Arkansas? Arkansas got any good backs coming back?
The big Russell kid, but then Jackson's
out.
LSU, Caden Durham in year 2.
Big game change.
Oh
man. That's there you go. Out there.
Oh.
Can he make it? Nope.
Yeah, but the damage is done.
Yeah. They're going to fall into 3 points.
Yeah, Ski Brick, Travis Etienne went pro. So they will be on Nate Frazier and a couple of young backs that are pretty good, but Etienne has gone to the NFL.
I don't know who does didn't Ole Miss get somebody out of the portal?
They did.
They got who got the Louisiana Monroe running back? Was it Ole Miss? Ahmad Hardy?
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing him.
Tennessee got the Duke running back.
I think Ahmad Hardy went to Ole Miss.
Which that's an upgrade at running back for them because they have a little bit more of a power bounce off you guy.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
He was a good player.
No, he went to Missouri.
Missouri's had a great run in the portal. Jeez.
Yeah, they pushed.
That's another loss for the Aggies next year.
You think that's an L for the Aggies?
Missouri's had a portal run, man.
Is Missouri's quarterback back next year?
No, he's not.
He's gone.
Yeah, and then the receiver's gone too.
Yeah. Their receivers are gone.
But they should be better on defense. They're finally getting back some pieces, right?
Yeah.
They got the Damon Wilson out of the portal.
Yeah, tremendous player. Yeah. Tremendous.
Wow.
All right, let's see what we got. I don't know what Notre Dame's gonna do. I feel like they're gonna punch it in here. I don't feel like they stop Judkins this close.
They punch it in here. This game's toast. That's for sure.
Judkins going down here. Look at
it. That was a good question by Horn 7 because if you think about it, Dylan Sampson gone, Rocket Sanders from South Carolina's gone, ETN's gone. So there's a lot of teams that lost their number 1 guy this year. Jaquindon Jackson's gone at Arkansas. We'll see if Le'Veon Moss comes back. That's 2 ACLs now for him. But if you kind of go through the list at SEC, a lot of teams lost their best guy.
Mississippi State will have some good running backs. I tell you what, I would go with Florida having the best overall running back, and then I would go with LSU and A&M second and third at this time.
Ralph, what about LSU in the transfer portal? I actually think they have the best SEC portal class, and everybody's hyping up some other classes. I think LSU's class may have done more to help their team than any other portal class, in my opinion, because they got a couple of edge players that are solid. I think they got some things done on the secondary defensively. I think they did. I think they've done a good job addressing needs through the portal. And then we'll see what they can do with it. Nussmeier's back, obviously, but I think LSU did a pretty good job in the portal addressing defensive needs.
Wow.
You ain't going to stop him down there, man. Not that dude. Not Judkins.
No.
Yeah.
4 possessions, 4 touchdowns for Ohio State now.
Yeah.
It's getting ugly.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people thought it would be.
That's why a lot of people thought the Texas Ohio State game was basically your national championship, de facto, anyway.
Yep.
Because
It's looking like it may have been, Rod.
they figured whoever was coming out of the bracket was going to beat Notre Dame. Now, it might have been a more competitive game with Texas, but I even saw a lot of the lines, or at least some of the future lines.
Yeah, the future
like,
lines had Texas favored over Notre Dame.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, look,
Because at the end of the day, Notre Dame couldn't throw the ball on Texas. And then with the Texas playing zone, with some of the QB, Riley Leonard outside the pocket stuff, which isn't really available tonight. It wouldn't have been available against Texas as much. They'd had to run it. They had to run inside zone till the cows came home against Texas.
Yep.
Their receivers weren't going to win against Texas in zone. They would have had issues offensively. I mean, and that's really what Notre Dame's issue was if they came into a game against a Ohio State or a Texas is could they score 24 points to win a game?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. They're better on offense, but in one of those games, it's going to be tough.
They don't have enough skill, explosive skill overall on offense.
Yeah.
That's what they need more of.
And it's always been the case. And that's why, to me, like, if Ryan Day left tomorrow to go to the NFL and Ohio State offered Marcus Freeman the job, he's got to take it.
oh yeah. Where would that's an interesting.
Because Freeman played at Ohio State. I mean, he was.
You would think Notre Dame would give that job to Mike Denbrock. I mean, I love this guy's offense as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
in college football.
I think they may just go to Matt Campbell.
Yeah. Oh, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Or Ohio State.
Yeah.
Proven commodity.
If Freeman turned it down. I just don't see how Freeman could turn down Ohio State if he's at Notre Dame. You can just get more of the higher level guys. And I know people are saying, well, Notre Dame's making more concessions. They've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
But it's always been the same issue. Maybe Freeman can get him over the top. Maybe he can get him over the hump. But it's going to take – it's not that close right
now.
Well,
I do think that playing in a national championship will help him.
It will.
I mean, it just like it did – it has improved Texas's roster overall, Jerry, playing in 2 national semifinals.
Well,
this will help.
We talked about it this morning on Coffee and Football. One thing Marcus Freeman has done, though, I can tell you this. When I went to see Javion Osborne a couple weeks ago, he mentioned Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame. When I spoke with somebody close to Tyler Atkinson's recruitment in his circle, somebody mentioned, well, Marcus Freeman's done at Notre Dame. He is giving Notre Dame – he's kind of making them a little bit more of a cool school with kids in the South.
Cool. Yeah. Great point. Good point. Coolest currency in recruiting. Yeah.
So, but can he win enough of those against Texas, Georgia, Ohio State? That's the question. Can you win enough? Because it's easy to say, well, Notre Dame's close, but offensively, are they really close? If you have to play 3 good offensive teams in a row to get to win a national championship. So say in 2 years in the playoffs, you had to win. Just say the way the bracket fell, you had to beat 3 good offensive teams in a row. Are you going to make up that much in personnel to do it? That's always been Notre Dame's issue when they got in this game.
Is Jeremiah Love back next year? Or
he has 1 year left.
They're good, man. They got some running backs. We talk about all those good teams with good running backs. Penn State has got 2 really good ones coming back.
Tremendous.
And Notre Dame has 2 good ones coming back.
Yeah.
Be interesting. Would Texas go after Price from Notre Dame if he went in the portal?
I would think absolutely. He's from Denison High.
Yeah.
Texas liked him. A lot of people liked him, but not as many went all in on him. I think he's kind of surpassed where the colleges in this region thought he'd be as a player. Honestly, He's gotten bigger. He's gotten a little bigger than I thought he would be because he was about 180, 185 pounds at one time in high school. He has added a lot of muscle thickness to that frame.
I will say this. Notre Dame doesn't make this a game. Texas will end up ranked number 2.
If they get blown out, what do you think? If they get blown out like this?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that's up Georgia?
I mean, look, they haven't stopped. They haven't stopped Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State's 4 for 4 right now.
Yeah.
Ohio State is 7 of 7 on third downs.
Yeah, they hadn't missed one then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 306 yards of total offense to 93. This game is lopsided. And the only thing that's not making it more lopsided, I think, is that first drive by Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm. It took so much time.
I know.
That's the point. Is the time they took. They took time off. Well, yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, they ain't looking good, and they can't throw the football outside.
I will say this: this is a big time win. It's going to be a big time win for Ohio State. Texas should take some solace in the fact that Sark had the guys ready to go against Ohio State now. Not just Sark, but PK too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely had that.
No, did he? He's close.
I don't.
Oh, he's close.
No.
No.
He's a yard short. Oh, they're marketing 2 yards short. They got a bad spot, Rod.
Yeah, they did.
That was a bad spot.
Is that right? Notre Dame.
Oh, he's punting. He's punting.
He's punting. He don't want to get blown out. He figures if he tries to go, he knows it ain't no guarantee he can get it. But
Notre Dame hadn't got a first down since the first drive. That's
right. No, that's what I'm saying. This is that they had 2 consecutive third downs. Are they going to?
No.
Did they? Yeah.
Oh man, they tried to fake it. Wow. Ooh, that's bold. That's bold. Bold move there. Bold move there.
Notre Dame fans, they're thinking about their flight at Atlanta Airport tomorrow night. Tomorrow morning, right now. They're making plans.
Oh.
Do I have time to go to the Coca-Cola Museum tomorrow morning? Can they make it over to the College Football Hall of Fame? Faison should have had that.
Yeah, that's a heck of a throw by.
Yeah, that's a great throw.
Yeah, this thing is gonna get. This is about. You're right. Texas might be ranked number 2 then because they might beat them by 30.
Yeah. So, well, so Rick comes up with a good one here. Fake punts only work against Texas.
Well done, there, Rick.
Yes, we agree with you.
Proper troll.
And I will tell you this: whoa, what is that play, Rod? What would you call this play?
It's a great point. I got to go rewind and look at that thing.
I think Day's like, what do we have left we hadn't called this year?
Seriously, what do you call that, Rod? Yeah. It's like almost a draw.
They shift to empty and
that was
they shift it and then they reload the running back. It basically run their draw play, like you said.
That's what I'm saying. It was almost
they did it from empty.
Yeah.
They did it out. They run a halfback draw out of empty. He reloaded the backfield. Yeah.
Boy, I think if he gives it to
that's a touchdown.
I think if he gives it to Henderson hits his head on the goalpost.
These guys, they're getting selfish. They want extra stickers.
Oh, you tell me that's not Travion Henderson didn't have it like his eyes as big as silver dollars.
He had one man.
I ain't got nobody in front of me, dude.
Nobody.
Yeah, Jay Dobbs said that's like the old sprint draw, but it's out of emotion.
Yeah.
He's basically
Good call.
That was a nice call. Sark should take that. That was pretty. I like that.
Yeah. Oh boy. Good tackle. That was a corner too. Made that tackle.
They got Leonard Moore, I think.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that guy is hard to tackle in open field. Oh yeah, he barely had it.
Good tackle. Rod B was proud of that as a corner.
Yeah. No, I like Leonard Moore. I think he's a good player. I'm a Leonard Moore fan.
No, very good. Very good.
Interesting to see what happens here. They see if Ohio State keeps its foot on the gas and they're just so good.
I gotta tell you, see that. That That's quality defense right there. That's what that is. Quality defense.
I think they call the flag. What did they get? A hold?
Maybe.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yep, holding.
Yeah.
That was a nice play, though. Trying to move the pocket a little bit.
Yeah. Ohio State's first penalty of the game comes in the third quarter, up 28-7. Oh, I'd say that's a hold.
Yeah, that's spit the dude around like a dope.
Did he do that to who did he do that to? Colin Simmons also?
Yeah, and they didn't call it.
They didn't call it. Yeah,
on him that time.
It'll be interesting to see on this, Rod, Texas, and where they come out next year against Ohio State, because so many of these pieces are not going to be there for Ohio State.
No.
They're just not. And so what do they have in the cupboard? You know, they've got talent. There's no doubt about that. They're going to be, half of them are going to be playing in the fourth quarter here, probably.
Good point.
You know, so I guess you'll see.
Yeah, who's going to play? I think the wide receiver position is still going to be loaded for them. I don't even know what they got, but I know they've been recruiting like gangbusters at wide.
Sorry, I started hearing the sleet noise. I had to go check out front, and the sleeting has commenced in Houston.
I got to say this. Like, Al Golden's a good coach. Al Golden's never been a great – oh, my goodness, he's wide open.
Wide open, he missed him.
Man, he had 3-yard separation.
He missed him.
He knows it. Boy, is it?
Yeah.
What did they do?
Yeah.
Boy, they didn't know. I don't think they understand. Man, 7 chose the wrong help there. 1. Who was that, Ron?
You're talking about the
safety came. I mean, it's 3rd and 16, and you're coming up underneath that.
He thought they were going to the sticks.
Yeah.
He thought they were
oh my gosh! Right hash 45-yarder, no chance.
Jerry, that makes it a 4-score game. There is Will Howard would have to completely implode right now for this game to get back to anywhere possible for Notre Dame. Are they going to go to a different quarterback? I've got to wonder. I don't know if they will. Hey, what do you think of this? Is Jaden Daniels just that good a player, guys? Or is Cliff Kingsbury accentuating him incredibly well?
I think so. I think
because I do think that Kingsbury is utilizing Jaden Daniels the way he needs to be used.
Yeah,
because he has history doing it with Johnny Manziel. His history's doing it with Kyler Murray,
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, well, but Mahomes isn't that kind of runner.
No, I know, but I mean, you know.
He's definitely had Mahomes, but
I mean, does it transition the head coach in the NFL? I mean, I'm not saying that's why he didn't get it done in Arizona, but when he's concentrating on OC QB relationship, he's as good as it gets. He's as good as it gets.
Andy Reid, who is, right now in the conversation to be on the Mount Rushmore potentially of NFL head coaches, he called Cliff Kingsbury an offensive genius. He said he's an offensive genius, period. Now, does that genius translate to head coaching prowess? Not necessarily. But I'm with Jerry, I think, in the right situation where he is just coordinator, play caller, play designer, and then he can have that connection with the quarterback because he's a QB guy and he's a QB himself. I think that's where he thrives. And he's using a lot of some of the old school air raid concepts too. Guys, and matter of fact, being so old school air raid that most people don't realize the original air raids are 2-back set. You don't realize that. Hal Mummy's version of the air raid was with 2 backs. Mike Leach was the one that broke it out into 10 personnel, put the slot, as you brought it out, Bobby, made utilizing, weaponizing that little slot receiver as a thing and spreading teams out. But go look at what Jay. Sometimes they're in the pony pack. They're in 2-back sets, old school. They're running some of the old school mesh stuff. He does a great job of mixing up the run game with.
I think Rod went mute.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, I think my mic came out. But no, he's doing a great job. And I believe they have, you got to give Dan Quinn credit for this too, guys. Dan Quinn, the biggest issue with defensive-minded head coaches in the NFL, and that probably it's in college too, because now the games are the college and the pro game are more alike than ever, is they don't know how to pick their offensive counterpart. They always struggle with that, even the great defensive minds, right?
Yeah.
Dan Quinn is really good. Think about the offensive coordinators he's picked. He's had Kyle Shanahan. He had Steve Sarkisian and Cliff Kingsbury. Those have been his those are the offensive coordinators he picked when he's head coach. That's he's brilliant at that. He did a great job. Think about that list, guys. That list is like 3 of the top 10 best offensive minds, arguably in football, period. And I think that's part of it too. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, on that staff, I believe Anthony Lynn's on that staff too. The old Anthony Lynn was a running. Well, he was like he was former head coach, but I think Anthony Lynn was a running back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was.
And he's on that staff too. And that's it. They've coordinated. They've done a great job of mixing a lot of the power run concepts with some of the pass concepts with Cliff Kingsbury. So you got to give Anthony Lynn some credit for what's going on. But it's no doubt that think tank, they've done a great job. Jaden Daniels is special too, guys. He's special. He was special coming out of college, and he's special. He's special in clutch situations. He's great in the red zone. He's great against the blitz. All things that rookie quarterbacks struggle with. This young man does not struggle with. Going on the road to win playoff games on the road. Yes, rookies don't win playoff games on the road in the NFL.
That teardrop he threw, that was ridiculous. You know which play I'm talking about against the blitz?
He's special.
Oh, that was there were a lot of there's Notre Dame's first down since the first quarter.
By the way, he's also Jaden Daniels is also, when we talk about development with players, for those that didn't really track him, and again, I was ESPN Under Armour at the time. We had him in the Under Armour game. He was a twig back in the day. He was 6'2", 161, 62, 65 pounds coming out of high school. And if you go look at a picture of him as a freshman, he went to play for Herm Edwards at Arizona State. Go look at a picture of him as a freshman at Arizona State and look at him now. And his body developed late. And there's all these guys, they just are on different paths or on different roads, whether it be physically or with their development. Jaden Daniels was a kid that looked like a point guard, a basketball point guard coming out of high school physically. That long, wiry body, and he's really had to build up his frame and his body, and it took him a while.
Yeah, I want to read this, guys, for y'all. Texas transplant. I already took solace in the fact that Sark game planned well enough to make OSU look mortal and beatable. We are on the cusp of greatness on the 40 acres. That's what I'm saying. Texas didn't just play well at times on offense. They also play well at times on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Texas has good coaching right now, period. I mean, you don't win 13 games in a season without good coaching. I don't care how good your players are. I mean, it doesn't work. Oh, boy. Yeah. Just what you want to see is Jim Knowles coming with a blitz on 2nd and 10.
Yeah.
Delayed blitz there. Big. But my point being, when I'm talking about this with Texas, you can say what you want about a 2nd and goal call and argue it till the cows come home. You can't say that Texas isn't well coached overall. You just can't. There are times when you could argue that Texas, in the last 10 to 15 years, that you could argue Texas was not well coached. I mean, I'm just telling you.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's one thing. I don't know if Texas is going to be perfect in this in the next 2 or 3 seasons, but I think they'll be well coached overall. And I think that's one thing that I think you can take to the bank a little bit for Texas, and big. It's big to me, actually. Hey, another thing I want to ask you guys as we talk a little bit about stuff that happened this weekend. Mark Andrews in the drop.
That was brutal.
Yeah, it was bad, and
Cold weather,
it
man.
almost reminded me a little bit, guys, of Matthew Golden's catch in the end zone. You all had him on 3rd and Longhorn, Rod.
Yeah.
And he said that he lost the ball for a little bit and didn't see it on that 4th and 13. And he basically, because of that, that's why he cradled the ball.
Yeah. That's scary.
And I kind of wonder, I was going back in my head when I saw that. I go, that's almost exactly that's how you try to catch that ball if you lost sight of it at some time through the flight. Now, obviously, a deeper ball, and with Golden as opposed to the one on the goal line but that's how because Mark Andrews is a good pass catcher, guys.
Great.
Yeah, he's a very, very talented guy. He's not going to typically drop those, but that's what made me think of immediately. I was like, that's what could have been for Texas had Matthew Golden not got it together there at the end. Joel Hyman, thank you so much, Joel. Nice of you, buddy. Guys, I'm ready. Brod's putting on the helmet for this.
Put the helmet on
this season, guys. I'm ready for next year already. Look forward to some off-season coverage. Rod B. Rod B is going to be looking forward to some quarterback runs because that's the only way Notre Dame has effectively moved the football. That is it. I think they've got how many first downs total do they have now?
They are up to 10.
I bet 7 of them come on QB runs.
And by the way, after
you bet 7.
And by the way, after the first quarter, Leonard had 9 for 34 rushing on the first drive. Since then, 5 for 7.
Yep.
Wow.
That wasn't going to work the whole game against Ohio State. No chance.
That's what I was saying. That's why I didn't understand why Ohio State didn't stop that at the very outset of the game. I'm like, the worst thing you could do, I thought, was give them a chance. All right, Rod, I gotta hear your. You got the helmet on. We got to give what was your biggest hit, the biggest lick you ever laid in college football? Do you remember that?
Oh, wow.
Jay
I didn't lay a lot of big hits. I'm not gonna lie to you. I made some good sound tackles.
Look at Jay Greathouse.
Maybe LSU game. I think I got a good lick on a crossing route in the LSU game. One of the rare times we played zone. I think they ran a crossing right to me, and I believe I might have decleated somebody in the LSU game. I believe that. So maybe that's the one. I had to go back and look at it to make sure, but I didn't have a lot of big hits on my resume. I'm not gonna lie to you. Didn't have a lot of big hits, but sound tackles. I tell kids all the time, you ain't got to make a big hit. Just make the tackle. Who cares how it looks? It ain't got to be sexy. Just make the tackle. So yeah. So
were you on the field, or were you a gunner?
Yeah, I was a gunner. In the league, I was a gunner.
I know, but when Nathan Vasher knocked the tar out of Carlos Francis, were you on the field then? Do you remember that for Texas Tech?
I remember that. Yeah.
Were you a gunner at that point where you were blocking downfield or no?
I had to be on the field because I was on the special teams. I was on the coverage unit and I was on the punt return units. So it had to be. I don't remember looking at it. I remember hearing the crowd and hearing the.
Okay, so you didn't hear that. You just okay. I got you. I had to ask because that was still one of the biggest hits I've heard in detail.
No, I would say Nate got a few of those though. Nate's got like 3 or 4 of those. He was one of them. I mean, he's like Quandre, where you look at him and you're not thinking to yourself, this dude is not going to unload on me. But some guys just have this way of bringing their hips with them when they hit people. And he was one of them. Quandre was like it too. They're small guys, but man, they would bring their entire body and their entire body weight with them when they came to make a tackle, and they would just kind of explode through the ball carrier. I don't think I ever had that ability. I'd make a good sound tackle, but to explode through a ball carrier, and essentially almost to decleat a guy. That's rare. But like I said, some guys, they did it all the time. Quinn Jammer was like that. Quinn Jammer was big, though. He's a big dude. Quinn Jammer was built like a linebacker.
Nathan Vasher was not.
No, Nate was a small, kind of frail dude, but man, he would lay the hammer on guys.
I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of great hits I've seen in DKR.
Oh, Brian Westbrook.
Brian Westbrook on Randy Kinder was by far, and the whole crowd literally went quiet for a half second because I think everybody was concerned he may have killed the young man.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, literally, I was there, and it was like, I mean, he literally hit him so hard. You're like, oh my gosh!
Don't celebrate. Don't celebrate.
And then Tony Brackens hit a Texas Tech kicker one time.
Oh,
I think he sent him into a different, dimension. There's no chance that guy wasn't seeing stars after that hit. Right along the sideline.
Yep.
I think other great hits in Texas football history. What
was the one on the Tech quarterback? Who was that?
That was Sergio Kindle that like that hit is now illegal. It was that lift up and pile drive on Taylor Potts.
Yeah.
Right.
Davis had one on Mahomes. Yeah, I think Quandre had one on Mahomes that was nice.
Yeah, he did. That took Mahomes out of the game.
Oh, yeah.
That game. Hey, Joel, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Joel.
Jerry will probably say something negative about that in a minute, but I don't know. Something snarky. We need to wind you up and get Jerry back to being snarky. Not negative about Joel. So we need to get snarky Jerry. I will say that Notre Dame went for 2 and made it on a shovel pass, and they made it now a 2-score game theoretically. This is what a similar score to Texas, Arizona State, right?
You're a turnover away, a pick 6 or something crazy.
24-8.
Yeah, from placing pressure on Ohio State. The problem is Notre Dame has to hold them under 45.
Yeah.
They would almost need a turnover on this possession.
I was going to say, how about a pick 6 right here? Will spill the pill?
Yeah.
With his passer rating right now of 192, by the way. I don't know if you'll see the rating.
Wow.
for him.
He's playing like the best game he's ever had.
Let's see what happens here. I mean, I was all but giving him up for dead. I think everybody was.
There's only been they need a stop and a score. If I don't get a stop and a score, this game's still out of hand. They need a stop and a score, and they need it without back to back. Excuse me, stop then a score quickly, then they back in it. It's a game again.
Hey, question for y'all? Ohio State fair catches, I think, every kick.
Yeah.
What do y'all you think more teams should just do that?
Depends on I think it really depends on how good your offense is. I think sometimes if you're not a great offensive team, you try to force it through the return game a little bit to see if you can bust a big play, start with a great field position. If you have an offense that is really good, I mean, unless somebody short kicks me, I'm probably fair catching and saying, let's go scrimmage.
That's what I'm saying. I almost feel like Texas was a net negative this year.
Yeah.
Versus just catching, fair catching and starting on the 25.
And you knew Matthew Golden had
injuries out of it.
Yeah.
You can get penalties out of it.
It's true.
You can get bad returns. Did Texas have a huge return?
Got called back every time. I think Golden had one maybe 45-yarder-ish.
Golden had his one touchdown.
But no, not punt returns, Rod. Now, punt returns is different. I'm talking about just kick returns here.
Okay.
So you start on the 25, you fair catch it?
Oh, yeah. I agree. You should. Unless you got a dynamic. Well, I would say we thought Matthew Golden was that guy. Let's be honest. He's like one of the best returns in the country last year. So,
but special teams underwhelmed all year.
Yeah.
Until the very end, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say it underwhelmed except for Silas Bolden. Silas Bolden actually made some plays late.
Hey, Rod, question. You give Silas Bolden any shot to hang on, make an NFL practice squad?
Oh, man. The size.
Or do you just go to the CFL and go do it, play in motion?
The size is going to – we'll see how he runs. If he runs some freaky time. But his size is going to be a problem because he's real small. And he hadn't had enough on film at Texas in SEC country versus those athletes for NFL players to go, oh, no, NFL coaches to go, oh, he's an exception. His size don't matter. That guy can play at the next level, which I think he may be able to, but they didn't prove that. That wasn't proven.
I will say this with him, Rod and Jerry. I think that he would have to be Kevontae Turpin.
Yeah.
That is the only guy in the NFL that looks anything like him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not Tyreek Hill, you know. I mean,
not Tank Dell level player.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair question. Let's see what Ohio State does here with the ball.
I'll tell you this. I give it to Judkins here. I'd lean on it a little bit, get a couple of first downs, get this thing to the fourth quarter, and take away the hope.
Well, they got 8 in the box, though, Jerry.
Well, they're going to chunk it.
Yeah. RPO.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 8 in the box. Highest winning percentage by head coach. Ryan Day, this is an amazing stat. Look at this, guys. 87% winning coach. And he was on the cusp of getting fired because he couldn't get over the top.
Yep.
Because he couldn't beat the rival, man. You got to beat the rival. Got to beat you. Especially when your rival's winning national titles. Ask Mac about that and Bob Stoops. He remembers it.
All right, Notre Dame with a third down here. It's forcing a third down.
And by the way, if he happened to lose this game tonight, he'd be on the chopping block again.
Oh, he would be now because the couch is already burning in Columbus.
Yes.
They were up 31-7. 31-7.
Yes.
Hey, tush push.
See, you can't run that play with Quinn Ewers, though.
No, he's too fragile.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's too fragile. Fragile.
Yeah. You can't run that play with him. And who are you going to put back there behind him? Trey Wisner or Jaden Blue, who aren't necessarily big backs.
Yeah.
They've got two bigger backs, 220-pound guys.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Let's see what they got here. Pistol.
You know, I think one of the stories for Ohio State fans coming out of this, assuming they go on to win this game, is rebounding from their offensive line injuries and issues late in the year and finding something that worked and putting together a run like this. Because how many points has this scored? I mean, you know, they were 40-plus against Tennessee, 40-plus against Oregon. They're probably going to be 40-plus in this game. I mean, I would think some of the Ohio State fans would be talking about there was a point this year when Simmons went down at tackle, then McLaughlin went down. They lost to Michigan thinking, we don't have the offensive line. We're trying to patchwork this thing together. We can't win it because of our offensive line, no matter how much talent we have on this team. And that they pulled that thing together and found some way to make it work almost with 5 guards starting. I mean, that's pretty much where they're at due to injury, Bobby.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They did it. They've done a good job.
Great job. Oh, that was a bad.
Oh.
That was a
Come
bad.
on. You didn't have to do that, dude.
It didn't. It was, but it was, yeah. I mean,
that was bad.
Freshman. No, that was on our Oben. Sorry. That was on Oben. Sorry, Bryant Young.
That would have been a 2nd and long, too, by the way, or 3rd and long.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah.
That was big. All right, 4th quarter.
Yep, here it goes.
They need to hold them to a punt here. They need a punt.
Yeah, they can't let them score.
And also, they may be in four down territory anyway,
Yeah.
where they are. If you're Ohio State anyway, you're in 4 down territory. So,
No doubt.
Are they at the 50? Right
They're
at
at the Notre Dame 47.
yeah. That's it.
Yeah,
So-
it's 4 down. It's 4 down territory.
Disbranded Brotherhood had a question here. Is the game at the Shoe next season going to be a day or night matchup? I want to say this, Jerry. We were talking about it before we got on air. The first week of the season next year,
Oh man,
is a blockbuster.
yes.
Did you hear? You were on this right at the outset.
Here,
But-
let me find it. I'll find
Yeah.
it. Read the games. Where
I mean, it is a fun. It's going to be a hell of a weekend, dude.
let's see.
That
All right.
same weekend, Texas plays Ohio State.
Texas and Ohio State. That should be 11 a.m. kickoff on Fox.
Big noon, right?
Notre Dame at Miami, which I mean, it's a good game because Notre Dame Miami history. LSU at Clemson, not neutral at Clemson.
Oh, that'll be good.
Alabama at FSU. I don't know what kind of game it'll be, but that's maybe the only time FSU Stadium's full next year. And then you have Syracuse at Tennessee, which Syracuse was 9-3 last year. South Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Atlanta. Good game there. And then by the way, a real coaching matchup: Sonny Dykes versus Bill Belichick in Chapel Hill. But the main thing is you have Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Miami, LSU, Clemson, Alabama, FSU. So you got some.
That's a good first weekend.
That's a great first weekend.
Yeah, I agree with that. But Disbanded Brotherhood, we think it'll be, to Jerry's point, we don't know for sure because Fox may do something freaky.
Yeah.
With a time slot. You don't know for sure yet. But they most likely would kick off their big noon debut of the season with that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, Arch Manning's first start as the starting quarterback at Texas, at Ohio State, defending national champs.
Man, don't you want that at night, though?
You want it when you get the biggest audience, but I'm with you. I think nighttime, want the prime time.
I know. I mean,
yeah.
If you're ever gonna break in prime time for college football with Fox, that would be it, right? I mean, because I think between Texas, Ohio State, and Georgia, those teams all played at least one of them in the top 8 most watched games this year.
Yeah.
Either Texas or Ohio State or Georgia. Those three.
Yeah.
So somebody asked earlier, what will that Ohio State team look like? They will lose 9 or 10 starters on defense. The Caleb Downs is the only guy that's guaranteed, I think, to be back. Because Sonny Styles could definitely go pro, especially you win a national championship. What are you sticking around for? Offensively, Abeka's gone. Both backs will be gone. Will Howard's gone. G. Scott, the flex tight end's gone. I think their blocking tight end is gone. Donovan Jackson will go pro. A couple other offensive linemen they lose. It's going to be a much, much different team for Ohio State. And it's a game where Arch Manning will be the most experienced quarterback unless Ohio State gets somebody out of the portal. If it's Julian Sand, it'll be his first college snaps ever.
Everybody's saying it's going to definitely be the 11 o'clock big noon kickoff. It most likely will be. I'm just here to tell you, if a big advertiser steps up and says, no, we want it prime time, money talks. just gonna say that, guys. Think we'll see. Hey, Jerry, you think James Peoples from San Antonio will be their starting running back next year? Ohio State Buckeyes, that is.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't dug into their depth chart enough. They signed a running back named Bo Jackson, by the way, this year.
No, they did not.
Yeah, but it's not no relation. But his name
Bo
is from Illinois. Was ranked about in the top 150 in the country. They got a scat back type Anthony Rogers, who was from Montgomery, Carver, or Pike Road High School. But Peoples is a pretty good fit for what they do. I'll say that. He's from Veterans Memorial there in San Antonio. Oh boy!
Oh,
that was a nice. Oh, did he fumble?
Yes.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow. Beautiful play design, though. That play design was fantastic.
Unbelievable. It looked a little bit like Sark's double.
Yeah.
The double.
Reverse, yeah. That was a great play design, but knocked the ball out right before the knee went down, too.
Oh, yeah, it was out.
Right before the knee went down. Great play. Because the knee goes down immediately after he knocks the ball out. Oh, hell of a play by that linebacker. Whoa. We said they need to stop. They got to stop. Now they got to score.
Yeah. Now the fun part, 79 yards to go.
Yeah, now you got to score. You got to stop. Now you got to score.
Because after the first drive of the game, I'm not sure they have 79 yards total.
Well, they just scored, Jerry.
Yeah.
That ball's 100%.
They have 161 yards total in the game. They had 93 yards before that last drive.
Yeah, it's going. It ain't gonna be easy.
No,
you need it. If you don't score here, this game's still over. You got to score. You gotta score.
That's a turnover.
Yeah,
what's turnover? And just when they needed it too. Hell of a job punching the ball out. It was a great play. It was like the best play design they've had all day. Actually,
First play of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
This could be it right here for Notre Dame. They're believing a little bit, guys. They're believing. They got to be perfect the rest of the game, though, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, belief ain't enough sometimes. You better go. You need some execution. Caleb Downs.
What a great play.
Right? He's instinct.
They got it. He'll be in Columbus next year.
Yes, like they losing everything except two of the best players.
They ain't losing him.
They got two of the best players in football.
Play. 7 talking to after that game, after that play, though.
Man, it's just hard against this Ohio State D, man. It's tough.
33 did a nice job staying outside. Ugh.
Every level of it is just tough to get to. The only level that's vulnerable really is the corners, and you can't get to them unless you got a quarterback with an NFL arm ready to get to him.
But he's not the guy. This isn't, to your point, Rod. Riley Leonard's not the guy.
Yeah, they know he can't do that, so they're like, man.
Has he thrown anything outside the hashes successfully tonight? No.
He got a PI on the one time they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also don't have those guys at wideout either. They have more of your intermediate type of guys. Your Faison's more of a short, turn it into something guy. They don't have a 50-50 ball winner on this team either.
Best throw all night.
That was money.
Best throw all night.
No, by far, and a key moment too.
Yep. Best throw he's made all day. Stood in the pocket. Took a shot. It's a good throw.
0 went too vertical instead of staying with the.
Hey, by the way, going into the Texas game, Cody Simon is who Texas wanted to pick on. I was flat out told they thought they could win against him.
Is that number 0?
Yeah.
That's who one thing.
They got the wheel on them, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's who they wanted to attack.
Tell you what, can we be seeing an implosion in the making here?
Oh, they got him for PI?
That's his second. That's his second flag of the game. And
that's why you got to go after the corners. CJ said it. You got to go after the way to attack the corners, man.
He's one of the most penalized corners in the country.
Yeah, he's very handsy.
Yeah. Avion Terrell's like, hey, hold on over there, guy.
Hold on. Man, screens don't work at all versus Ohio State. They snuff out.
They are sitting on them.
Man.
Hey. Yeah, you cannot go backwards.
You know, one of the reasons why screens are tough against them is they get pass rush with their edges, but it's not like they're darting explosive guys that get up the field so fast that it opens up your screen game behind them. Like they're controlled.
No, they're at 2 ends.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're controlled power pass rushers, right? They don't run themselves out of plays.
Good point. Great point. They squeeze the pocket.
Yes.
And they got the Williams kid inside that doesn't
Yeah.
stay blocked. This is 4-down territory no matter what, guys. So
Yeah.
got to be.
Yeah. No, you did.
Let's get back to.
Got to. So all you need is half of this.
You can't punt.
Well, your best third down play is to throw it at Igbenson and see if you get on a PI.
They're gonna go empty on it. I'm not mad at the empty formation. Get half of it. That's not bad. It's not bad. That's not bad. That's what you need. All right. Here we go. Here we go. That's what
This
you need.
ball game here.
It's good play. Come on. What you got?
This is ball game right here, guys.
Yeah, it is.
Not that.
QB draw is not the call.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, good. Oh, God. Just, you know what? Second best throw of the night. Second best throw.
Oh, you saw it? Okay. You're ahead of me, Rod.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No.
Yeah, Horn 7 is 33 a first rounder, Jack Sawyer. He's mocked as a second round guy by most people.
Is that Jaden Greathouse?
That is Greathouse. He's making plays in the clutch.
Yep. Good for him.
Hey, you know what? That guy's championship guy. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
championships in football. They had one of the most unfortunate losses in the state basketball tournament, but he helped get a Westlake team to the state basketball tournament. That dude's a culture guy, a winning guy.
When it's clutch time, think players, not plays. That's exactly what they're doing right now. This is like, if they took Greathouse off the field, I'd be like, sorry, young man, I need you to stay out there.
Hey, if they're going to play number one and off coverage, just pitch and catch a little bit out there.
That's what they're trying to do. That was out. That last play right there was outside the numbers.
Because Ohio State is going to play him off so he doesn't get an immediate holding call or pass interference. So just play pitch and catch.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because that's a good point. You're right.
Ohio State's scared of him getting a penalty right now.
He's a big body guy. He likes the big body. Now, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting, gentlemen. It's going to be interesting.
What they call? What kind of
holding? I think
defensive holding.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out where the holding was.
And
I gotta try to
Caleb Downs.
Who they identified as the holding? Downs?
10. No, it's 10.
But when did he hold? Initially?
That's a good play. They call it on Caleb Downs too.
Maybe they called it on the wrong guy.
Oh yeah, it was on Downs. You're right.
Oh, so yeah, they call okay.
CJ Vogel, you're back.
I hear this game's getting interesting.
It is a little bit here.
Why, CJ? Why is it getting interesting? Because they're attacking the corners. They're finally attacking.
Wait. Medicine doesn't work that fast, CJ. What's going on?
I had to get some food, Jerry.
Oh, okay. You're a quick healer.
No.
He's young, man. That's how it works.
What do I know about quick healer? Riley Leonard just got
16 carries.
He just got hit in his Mando.
Hey, worry about that tomorrow.
16 carries.
Oh, come on.
I also have to sweat out this Jaden Greathouse bet, fellas. I wanted to sweat it out with you guys.
Oh, what did you have on that?
To be the leading wide receiver in this game, leading pass getter, most receiving yards, plus 2,200.
Hey, who did the Notre Dame offense listen to my joy mode reads?
Okay.
They took it at halftime.
Nice. Hey, CJ, was that for receiving yards?
Receiving yards, most receiving yards in the game.
Good stuff. I like it.
But Rod, I feel like that's what I was trying to say the entire time is target Davison Igbinosun. That's his 19th penalty on the season, his second of the game. They're moving the ball.
Yep. And trying to get it to Greathouse again there for you, CJ. And he was a target to motion that time. They tried to bring him in a jet motion and a jet return motion.
I tell you, I haven't liked their slip screens, their jailbreak screens. They've tried to 2 or 3 times tonight. It hasn't worked. I feel like a defense with this much speed and
Yeah.
They've got to light him up, and they've got to run. They've got to run a slant to Great House here. They're going to light him up right here. You know they are.
Is this the 4th down?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're kicking the field goal.
What?
Whoa! What?
Oh, dude,
it's not.
Dude, they have scored on 5 of 6 possessions, and the only time that Ohio State has not scored is on a fumble.
Oh no!
You go for this, right?
You should have.
I mean, only
no.
It's a right.
Bird Auburn, baby.
Right hash going into that end zone.
Oh man, why did
in Atlanta, by the way, in Atlanta.
Is the field raised on that side, CJ?
They got that old Cowboys crown in there. Remember that Cowboy Stadium crown they used to have?
Oh my goodness!
Wow,
that is wild.
I don't like that.
Football God saying you should have went for it anyway. I guess.
Is there something that pulls your left shoulder out there or something in that stadium? It's weird. I don't know.
That's crazy.
I can't believe they didn't go for it.
I'm with you. I'm like, I think that's a football guy's punishment.
I mean, look, they're 8 of 9 on 3rd downs. They scored on 5 of 6 possessions. We're gonna score on the 6th, and they fumbled.
Yep.
I mean, you've shown no proclivity to stop them from scoring. There's no chance.
No chance. And you run out of time. There's 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes left in the game. You're running out of time. That was one of your best. That's your second best chance to score all night, pretty much. Come on. That's crazy.
That's a questionable call.
That's a dang coaching mistake right there. Yep. Football gods don't like that. All right, that's it.
We'll see where it goes.
Gave it away right there. Man. You had to score there. We talked about it. You needed to stop and a score. Field goal still would have been a score, so you're good. But now you didn't get the score. You wasted the time and didn't get a score.
You still have to score. You think they're going to score? You think Ohio State, if they really needed to, is not going to score again this game?
No, I know, but that's why I'm saying that's why it was pivotal for Notre Dame to get a score, so they at least get themselves back in it now. Yeah. I mean, there's no way they're not gonna score.
Yeah, they need to place pressure on Ohio State.
Yeah, they can't. They not Ohio State just milk the clock. They'll get like 4 first downs and just take the time.
I will say Ohio State's secondary looks susceptible right now to me. And I don't know as the corners.
Well, there's 3 players that I know going into the game, Texas. There was 3 players that Texas would target or wanted to. They had to dial it all up. It was Simon at linebacker, and it was Downs in man coverage, and it was Igbenson. Those are the 3 guys.
Yep.
Those are the matchups they were hunting.
They got Simon a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know CJ's been saying it from the jump, and I'd agree. The weakest part of the defense is their corners. It's hard to be able to attack them because you got to have quarterbacks that that have strong enough arms to make throws outside the numbers, but you still can manufacture ways to attack them. And that's what they're doing now when you roll the pocket and just toss it up on a 50-50 ball because they're very handsy, as CJ has mentioned. Like they're going to give you a penalty or 2 every game. Like that's just how they play, period. So take the penalties. So I think that's what they're doing. I don't know what the motive is, at least what the mentality is going to be now for Notre Dame on defense. I imagine you stack the box and pray.
I mean,
pray.
CJ's praying they don't throw it to Egbuka again.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what CJ Vogel's doing right now.
Just keep this on the ground, milk some clock, and let's get out of here, right?
Pretty much. I mean, why wouldn't you? They're going to stack the box. I see Ryan Day doing something cute because he likes to do cute things.
That's exactly what I'm saying. What if Will Howard here?
You know what he's about to do? He's about to throw it 80 yards down the field, just like Sark.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Ryan Day and Sark have some similarities.
They do. They
That
put
was
it
the most outrageous play call for all the play calls this year. That's the one. Even the 2nd and 1 toss. That's the one I still look back on. It's like, what in the world was the thought process?
Which one was that?
The
deep ball.
Ewers
Yeah.
deep shot against Arizona State that was picked off.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Uh,
it's time to run. They ran against Texas a little bit.
Yep.
Life of a kicker. I don't envy.
No.
Yeah, it's tough because it's a lonely life. It's lonely. It's lonely.
Over 70 held that guy. 70 is very handsy.
Josh Fryer.
Yeah, very, very handsy. He held that guy in the hole.
Funny story. So I love going to those the All-American Bowl combines, right? And if you're not affiliated with who puts on the event, right, you very rarely get a roster.
Yep.
So it's always just a, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you play? Etc. Josh Fryer was one of the first guys that I had met when I first started doing this. I was like, hey, man, you're pretty darn good. Do you have any offers? Like, where are you from? So I'm from the Midwest. I'm like, you ever been down to Austin before this? He goes, no, but I'd love to come visit Texas and Oklahoma. I was like, okay, well, how many offers do you have? And he goes, no one so far. I was like, all right, let me follow you on Twitter. He balled out at that. Next thing I know, he's a top 30, 50 kid in the country committed to Ohio State. I'm like, oh, sometimes this scouting eye does something right. And that was
nice.
You had him in the layup line as a 5-star, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, he goes through the layup line. What? Dude,
he just put his cleats on and said, you know what? That guy looks like something.
Dude, how long is Keyshawn Judkins going to play in the NFL? That play right there, I mean, it's just a toss.
Mm-hmm.
But that is, man.
Yeah, that dude's impressive.
He hit that dude like a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just milking this thing now.
Yeah. Let's see, 3rd down.
Well.
Oh, Rod knows something we do not know.
I took a page out of CJ's book. I'm watching the Skycast now.
Yeah.
Skycast is way ahead. It's way ahead of everybody.
380 yards. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I know. It was open. It should have been easy. That's on Will Howard there.
Ugh.
Hey, he is going to the Senior Bowl, Rick. Rick Amberguy wants to know if CJ's going to the Senior Bowl. He will be out there.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
Was that Will Howard's by far worst throw of the game?
That was a horrible throw, wasn't it? He was wide open. Like
3rd and 3, too, in the 4th quarter.
For as often as you see that play specifically, you feel like it would be more aware defensively to, in those 2-point conversions. I mean, that's what the Ravens ran last night.
They're playing, CJ, at least with the Ravens, they didn't have much upfield to work with.
Yeah.
They're committing 8 to the box on 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
It's also a play where if your quarterback doesn't get depth of step, that you can get your vision affected on that throw by your offensive.
Yeah, with the hands.
You have to get wide with your steps as a quarterback there. You have to elongate your steps to create your maximum angle. And I think if you get a little short or lazy with your footwork, you can get your vision affected really quickly on those plays.
Good stuff.
I don't even know if this is true, but this does bring back one of my favorite old shows of all time, by the way. Did you guys know that Will Howard is the son of Ken Howard, the actor who played the basketball coach in the series The White Shadow? Do y'all remember that show?
No.
Rob, do you remember it?
I do not remember that show. I got to Google this.
I love that show. That was a great show.
The White Shadow is the name of it?
The White Shadow is a great show.
Wow.
It's probably all kinds of politically incorrect today. But back in the day, it was well acted. It was a
about basketball.
The premise was a former pro basketball coach, former pro basketball player gets injured and then goes back and coaches an inner city team to a championship type thing.
I gotcha.
And it was a really good show at that time. I don't know if it stands the test of time, but for my teenage self, it was a good show because I like sports and I like coaching in basketball at the time.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah, it was a great show, Rod. It really was back in the day.
Huh. There you go.
It wasn't quite happy days though. I mean, I got to be honest. Yeah, that's my speed.
That's funny.
Not sure why that time. There we go. It's not a Bob. It is not Ken Howard's son. There we go.
I know. There you go. That would have been wild. We never heard it. It was like we known this dude for 5 years and didn't know that his dad's
Hey, we thought Matt, our producer, was asleep at the wheel, but no, he had to come out. He had to come out of the woodworks to prove me wrong.
It's like I don't like the sound of that one.
Matt called BS on me there.
Hey, Rod, has it started sleeting up by you yet?
I do believe because I've heard some stuff. Yeah, I can see it. I think I see it on the ground. Glad you said something. I see snow on the ground.
Starting to come down pretty good over here. So
yeah, in Houston too. Somebody in the chat said it's been snowing in the Woodlands for an hour and a half or something.
That is crazy.
That is nuts. Oh man, gotta check on the dog.
I think it snowed once when I was growing up.
Oh, man,
it sleeted a bunch. Like it was every 2 or 3 years. But growing up in Houston, I think it snowed once my entire childhood, where I could actually go outside and play in the snow.
I think you're right about that.
All right, Rod, I'm back on the Skycast.
Yeah. Oh no, that was a good play by Will. Right. I mean, by Riley Leonard right there. Good play.
Great play.
That was a great play. I mean, it's too late, but still a good play.
I don't know if it's too late, Rod. They go down there and score twice.
You got to do it north of the 2-minute warning.
He's got all 3 timeouts.
It's in 5 minutes. They're gonna score 2 touchdowns.
You got to do it north of the 2-minute warning. That's where you got to score your first.
They got to throw a deep ball here.
I agree with that. I agree with CJ. Well, CJ, except they have 3 timeouts.
They do, but
they need a
you never know.
Play. They need a chunk yardage play here, though.
I'd always like to be north of it.
Yeah, I would. I agree with you, CJ.
Ooh, middle of the field. Okay, well then I literally just said they need a chunk yardage play and
yep,
got them. They got what they need. Okay, I'll shut up then.
Yeah. That guy just juked somebody for the first time since he was in high school, probably. that does not look like a fleet-footed tight end there, does it?
He got
Simon in this game.
He got Simon.
Side report. Oh, okay. Had to wonder when that was going to happen.
I'm still peaking my Jaden Greathouse receiving lead.
That's all you worried about.
That's all I'm worried about.
CJ don't care about anything else. That outcome doesn't matter at all. Oh, we got injury here?
To who?
Ohio State defensive end.
JTT?
Yeah. JT, yeah.
That ankle again?
Looks like it. Yep.
Well, I sound like Bodie talking to Keanu Reeves. That knee again?
Great reference, there. There you go.
There you
go.
Hey, there you go, Joel. Jerry's back again.
Riley, that ankle again? God.
Oh, that's good though, man. They're marching down there, and everybody knows they're throwing the football, and yet that's the first time they've gotten the sack. So,
I'm trying to get some junior day confirmations while I listen to you guys' great commentary here.
I don't know about that. I think CJ's distracted with the.
He's looking. Well, how's your bets looking, CJ? Pretty good, right?
Good.
Well, so far.
As long as Egbica doesn't catch another pass, he's golden right there.
I'll be all right.
Yeah. 4 for 81.
Hoodwink says snow in New Braunfels. Not surprising. Snow in New Braunfels, everything shuts down. Snow is picking up in the Woodlands from Daniel Earp. He's the one that was talking about it earlier, Jerry. Got my cats and dogs back inside. Not too cold yet.
Get there.
Let me ask you, here's a question about the game itself. Jim Knowles playing prevent defense too early, maybe?
I was just surprised that they hadn't gotten to Riley Leonard earlier, but I will say that he's been mobile, man. He's been avoiding some of the rush. I mean, the pocket's been collapsing around him at times, and he finds a way to extend the play. That's part of it. But I do think, there's been a little bit of conservative approach from Ohio State. I try to light him up, but I think he's scared that if he lights him up and he escapes, that he could get a big gain or find an open receiver in one-on-one coverage too.
I hope this guy's not really hurt because he's going to the league.
Oh yeah.
Well, if he's out, I wonder if they'll change their approach though. Might try to manufacture some pressure if one of your starting DNs is out.
I wasn't here for it. What'd you think of the fake punt?
Oh, great throw.
I mean, I got to ask the question. You're going to go for it. Why don't you just run the quarterback again?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
You've been, what are you on 3rd and 4th and short with QB run? Like 100%? And it's not like you're going to have a true element of surprise there. They're playing punt safe up by 24 or up by 17,
By the way, here's the crazy thing. Riley Leonard, after all that, now has 30 more passing yards in this game than Will Howard.
Hey, did you guys know movie director Tim Burton is Bobby's dad, who based on Bobby's childhood antics?
That's good.
Yeah. My mother I'm actually the child of Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. So that's actually the real story.
Good open field tackle. Good open field tackle. All right.
Yeah, Ohio State, good tackling team.
Oh, you got to let that develop.
Yeah.
They're two safeties plus Jordan.
Quick, you think, CJ, on that? Yeah.
I mean, he lets, big 58 or whatever out front get out there another step.
Wait for it.
There you go,
CJ.
CJ.
Yeah.
CJ.
Great house. Big money winner.
Great house. Give him his money.
Rod, we're popping confetti.
Yeah. Hey, you damn right, man.
I got to see it through. See it through.
All right, so guys, huge 2-point conversion.
Huge, absolutely enormous.
If they make it.
Got the quarterback run game here, too.
And they're taking Greathouse off the field.
It was $25.
How would you take him off the field here?
Well, they've seen on tape toss sweep is big here.
Oh,
wow. Wow.
Damn, that hurts, Jerry.
Soon, Jerry.
I'm muting you guys.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm muting you guys.
Oh, that was amazing. That was a great play call. That was a great play call. That was a nice play call.
Oh, wow.
That was a great play.
Wide open.
Almost never happened.
Pretty.
They got the safety to bite. Was that Caleb Downs who came up?
Wow. Hell of a play call.
Well, if you left the chat, he's holding too. I mean, who was 1? Who was 7?
That is Hancock, I believe.
I think you're right. Wow.
Great catch, Jaden.
I mean, Ryan Day either gets the trophy or gets ran out of town
Oh, yeah.
in the next 4 minutes of this game. By the
Boy.
way. There's like no in between for him.
Oh, I mean,
This is all. It's the whole,
I mean, the couches were already on fire.
this is it.
Oh, man. Yeah, they got to come back inside. It was – oh, yeah, it ain't going to be good.
Was that 2 that came up on him? That's what I couldn't tell, Rod.
I'm going to be all over
Who had him on the
takes if
backside?
they blow this game.
I'm gonna go look at.
What'd you say, Jared? What'd you say, CJ?
I'm going to be all over freezing cold takes if Ohio State blows this game somehow.
And now by the way, they're inside the number. They're inside the number too. By the way, that line was 8. Well, to push.
Oh, they're going to kick off. Why wouldn't they kick off here?
They got 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
I know. Why would you not kick off?
Kick off.
You should squib this to a corner. There it is. Well done. Very well done.
All right.
Very well done. That's the most underrated part of coaching.
That's as indecisive as Travion Henderson's ever been with a ball.
That really looked weird almost, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was the whole point. Like CJ said, make them have to make a decision on it.
There are 2 coaching things that I'd like to see more of in college football and really NFL as well. That exactly right there. When you have your kickoff return team, all of them with up about 5-10 yards, you either pooch it to a corner or you squib it to a corner. NFL a little difficult with their landing zones. The other one, you're up 1, you just score a touchdown. Why not go for 2 sometimes? Make it a 2-possession, 9-point game. Otherwise, you're just holding serve up 7.
They've been going 2 and 3 wides all game, and they go 2 tight ends when it matters. Rod, what do you think of that?
This is
Power football.
Yeah. This is
They're basically going to say we're going to get a first down and ice this.
Yeah.
Oh, now they're going back to 11.
Are they?
They're going to the quads. Look, they usually go quarterback run game out of this.
That's a smart play call. You get ahead of the chains.
And yeah, like I said, when I studied it, when they go quads, they go quarterback run game with quads. They did it against Texas too. That big run by Will Howard, that was quads. Quads look. Quads is all 4 receivers to one side. Essentially, you're covering up one of your receivers.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be ball game, but it's going to be real. No, they need 2 more. They need 2 more first downs, given that they've got 3 timeouts, right?
You know why that was great? They went heavy to get ahead of the chains, get a positive run, right?
Yeah.
Nothing stupid to get behind the chains on first down.
That's fair.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
That's smart football.
They're not taking unnecessary chances, right? They know Will spill the pill Howard. It still exists. So they're like, you know what? Let's just let them run the football, quarterback run game. It's good play.
QB runs against a man is it's always interesting how they they hit you on the backside of those.
Yep.
Brant says, what was the spread for this? I believe it closed at 8 or 8.5. So you're right on the number or right inside, depending on
where you got it, when you got it.
Yep.
And I think the over-under was
46. That one's way shot.
Yeah. Because Ski Breck was celebrating his win in the chat. We saw you. It was 8 at kickoff. Dang.
Going back to heavy sets, though. Going back to 12 personnel. And going back to a quads look, if I'm not mistaken here.
Now your goal is to run it twice, get it to the 2-minute warning.
They go quads look. They're going run game. They did it again. They shifted to it this time.
Oh, wow. Linebacker moved over this time, Rod.
Yep. They say, they adjusted to it.
They snapped this with 15 on the clock.
Did they really?
15 on the clock.
That's not smart.
Shades of Texas OU 2023.
Oh, don't say that.
Sorry.
You and Jerry now both.
Bobby, Jerry, Rod, y'all know it. When something happens that's just so egregious, it just sticks with you. And it just rises back up like that.
You talking about the Oklahoma game?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, why did Ohio State call a timeout there? With what the?
Was it?
Actually,
This says Notre Dame.
Oh. Is it Notre Dame?
Notre Dame's thinking this is the down.
Oh, okay. Okay, Notre Dame called the timeout. I was gonna say it showed.
Yeah. He's pretty much saying we got to have a punt here and have the 2-minute warning as a timeout.
That's exactly it.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. The 2-minute warning is their timeout. All right. Do you let
If he lets it run to the 2-minute warning and then they get a first down, game's over. Pretty much. You can call a timeout you want at that point.
Matthew Miller, watching our OL versus Notre Dame with multiple backups is eye-opening. Did the OL take a step back from last year? What do y'all think of that? Was Cam Williams and Christian Jones a straight-up trade? I don't think it took a step back. I think
it
just
took a step back.
Yeah.
I think Texas played against a lot better defensive players. I think that
really seems to be your
and Jonathan, and you didn't have Jonathan Brooks or Cedric Baxter this season. And Trey Weiser's a really good player, but he's a different type of back.
And he's young.
You didn't just lose your senior or your junior Jonathan Brooks. You lost your all-conference freshman too. You lost both of those guys who ran inside zone and fit the scheme perfectly. So I think it's that. And you played against a hellacious group of defensive linemen this year and defensive players.
Rod, do you remember what Saban said preseason?
Yeah.
I believe it was SEC Media Days. It was the best running back that he had faced in 2023. Was that was it, right?
Yeah, he said that. I was in there when he said it. It was I kind of did a double take. I was like, yeah.
And look, I thought Trey had a good season. Youth plays a big part,
And look, the Texas had injuries this year to overcome on offense. They had a really healthy offensive line the 2 years prior. This year they had running back injuries. They had the Isaiah Bond injury. They had another Quinn injury. They had offensive line injuries late in the season. They had a lot more to overcome offensively, especially considering the depth of defensive talent they played against.
Think players, not plays in clutch time, gentlemen.
Hey, Jeremiah Smith, baby.
Think players,
how big of a play
in clutch time?
Maybe big enough, CJ. Oh, CJ, did you lose it on that?
No. He's gonna keep it by 6 yards. Oh no, by 16 yards.
CJ's
stressing over there.
Knee it out.
CJ, you bought yourself a burger, baby.
Yeah, I was already shopping.
That money, I already spent that money.
Rod, to your point, there's the Chip Kelly. You get what you ask for when you sign up for Chip Kelly, right? A deep shot like that when you need 8 yards.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, when it works, you look like a genius.
Exactly. It's 4th and 13, right? 4th and 13. You went for the gusto on it. Got it. It was all good. A lot of people like, why didn't you just get 13 yards? But you surprised the defense with it. They surprised that defense. That defense didn't think they were going to take a deep shot like that. That you were getting to the sticks. Call the defense slipping.
That was scary.
And like you said, it's a brilliant play call because you call them slipping. If you don't complete it, everybody's like, you idiot. What are you doing? That's the thin line between being brilliant and being a bum.
I don't think he could have made it, CJ. Greathouse is at 111.
Yeah, he could have only got up to 98.
That's perfect.
Wow.
CJ's like, that's okay.
Yeah. I tightened up real quick right there.
Yeah.
You're like, uh-oh.
No,
I think there are some folks maybe in the chat, but definitely around at home, around the country watching that, probably wishing he would have got those extra 9 yards.
And then they're about to.
Yeah, you think it might have I don't think they're going to go for a field goal here.
No, they're going to punch it in and cover the number too.
Oh, I don't know if they're going to do that, man. Just
Notre Dame may have. They're going to punch it in on them. I don't think they're going to take a knee. You think they'll take a knee?
Wow.
I don't think. I mean, if they hand it off twice, they'll score.
Man.
Jeremiah Smith.
Just a match protect and just threw it up to their guy. Beautiful.
It was a nice throw by Howard.
It was one of his best throws of the day. Yep. No doubt. That was money.
Matthew comes into the chat. Our producer Matthew comes into the chat. Ryan Day will send a message to Lou Holtz.
Oh no, he's still beat
Lou Holtz had a little conversation for Ryan Day.
Oh man.
I'll ask you guys this. I don't think it would have made much of a difference, but I'm looking at Jeremiah Love right now. 4 rush attempts, 3 yards.
Hurt.
too dinged up to go. Would it have made much of a difference in y'all's eyes if they were able to have him healthy?
They got down so heavy, CJ.
Yeah.
They've come back
Quickly.
on the football.
Well, and he's also a guy that bounces a lot of runs outside, and that ain't happening against these guys.
Mm-mm.
Not against these safeties.
Not
I think
for a
the same
lot of
thing.
yardage, at least.
No.
It would have mattered, though, some, CJ. How much? I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, I look at that second and third possession where it went really quickly. You know, they weren't on the field for a long
Three
time.
and outs.
Could that have been something to prolong it? Who knows? But I don't think at the end of the day that was the missing link for them.
No.
By the way, 7 rushes, 16 yards from their running backs in a national title game.
Damn.
Looks like
Best run defense in the country, man. Best defense in the country, but statistically.
Yeah, I mean, they've still only given up 293 yards.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yep.
What did Texas get on them last 10 days ago?
They got over 300, didn't they?
I think it was like right on the dot.
Was it right? Okay.
I think so. Because again,
Very
Texas punted
good
4 or 5 straight times in that first half as well.
That's true. That first half wasn't pretty. Yeah. Right at the end, that's where they scored. Right at the end.
Mhm.
I mean, Ohio State's 9 of 11 on third downs. Tight end false started.
This isn't. They're not scoring here.
I need to get this closer. I mean,
First
how
and
much
goal.
am I going to work
Now,
on?
what are they at now? What are they at? The 15?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I got 23. No holdings.
I was gonna say you don't want to throw it up to Jeremiah Smith one more time.
They might.
He's trying to figure out. Well,
Yeah, all right. Yep. They're just gonna run it.
there's no chance they're throwing the football. here.
No.
No way.
31 personnel.
Yep. They're just gonna run it.
Oh, this is a power eye. I like this.
Absolutely.
All right. That's the last time out for Notre Dame. Maybe all she wrote. Man.
Theoretically, get the ball back with 30 seconds left. Is that right?
Well, a field goal.
They're not going to kick a field goal, dude.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Field goal?
Yeah.
I think you do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Make sure. Huh.
I mean, 2 possessions with 30 seconds left.
Just
Done.
to make sure.
And I think that outweighs the risk of a blocked kick.
Okay, that's fair.
The problem is Notre Dame may just get caught on a run blitz, and you get creased for a little 15-yard touchdown.
They're playing 10 in the box right now, Gary, or 11.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that's what happens when you play that many in the box. Is one guy, if you hit one little crease, it's over because there's nobody to help behind.
No second level. There's no levels really. They're all up.
If Ohio State they want to have some fun, just run a reverse to Smith right now. He'd probably walk in.
Oh man, talk about getting too cute.
Ryan Day would get fired. They're running QB sneak, guys. Come on.
Yeah. No, I agree. Don't take a
Go
chance.
clock, go.
Yeah.
Look
I
it down.
think the best they could do is get it down, hope for a missed field goal or get it down to 30 seconds and get the ball back.
I'll give it up to Notre Dame, though. They made it a game. I thought.
Yeah, good for them. They showed some fight.
I thought it was going to be a blowout at halftime.
Yeah, me too.
I'm looking at it. We've had 32. We've had 32 quarterback runs, scrambles, or just taken off. Sacks, whatever you want to call it. The longest of those 32 has been 11 yards.
How is it possible that Ryan Day's beard is darker than a black hoodie? How is that even possible?
Just for men.
There it is right there.
That's
Ryan Day's NIL deal with Just for Men landed in
I didn't know that was possible. Possible, period.
You know what it is.
Oh, dude. Oh.
He's real great with all the losses to Michigan. He's stressed out around there. All right, here we go.
Charles Omenihu an hour ago tweeted out SMH, the national championship, was played in Dallas last week.
I agree with that. But Notre Dame made it interesting, though. I
They
think
did.
the team that came out of that bracket was going to win it. I just feel like that's the case.
Texas matched up really well with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
What they do.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. That's all she wrote for that. Fourth down.
How do you snapped it with 3 left? So 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
25.
Will Howard. Mm.
He's still out there. I guess he'll
Yeah, I mean,
beforehand.
I'm right. I think I'm right. I don't think you.
well, the Ohio State has a timeout.
Timeout, then kick the field goal, right?
I think what you
think
do,
so,
Bobby,
man.
if you don't kick, you have one of those, like, you hold every single player, you run backward 20 yards, you waste some time, you throw the ball as high as you can up in the air, and you waste 6 extra seconds.
All I know is if he doesn't kick this field goal and Notre Dame happen to score, he'll get fired again.
Well, they missed this field goal and they score. He gets fired.
I mean, at least you tried to put the game away. If he just goes for it and just pretty much says, here's
What if the guy snaps it over his head? I'm just telling you, there's like 15 different ways this.
I hear you.
I would rely on my defense not to give up 8 points in 25 seconds. Would you not? I mean, I just don't. I don't know. I don't trust kickers though.
Yeah,
Well,
Bert Auburn got you all. Bert
And
Auburn
those
got
3
you
points
all.
are important to some.
I mean, I look, I can see it either way. I would kick this ball here though, but I can see anybody's point otherwise. But I mean,
I'd kick it, but we'll see because Notre Dame's got nothing to lose. They're going to be trying to jump the snaps, block this damn thing.
Yeah, right hash kicks. Haven't seen these go wrong before.
Yeah.
never.
So, yeah, if I'm Notre Dame, I'm screaming off the edge.
Oh, jeez. Kyle
outside. Nobody cares.
Vichoska.
Yeah.
Don't
There you
say
go.
that, man.
There you go. You got to. I mean, look, you've come this far. If you can't put the game away here, then
Simple execution.
They're loaded left.
Yeah. All right.
Nah, I got it.
Burning some couches.
It's over.
it's over. What are we, a month and a half until spring practice, right?
Yeah. I think we're going to start in March.
We have coffee and football the rest every day. Somebody asked that earlier in the chat. A couple of guests coming up on Wednesday. But yeah, we have coffee and football daily, all our shows daily. Nothing changes. CJ, myself, and maybe somebody else will have some coverage of Junior Day this weekend. We'll do some videos from that. So a lot going on. Rod Babers is going to do a Red Zone Clinic video, I think.
Red Zone Clinic. Oh, yeah, I can do that. Me and CJ will definitely jump on that. That'll be good.
How Arch Manning is utilized in the red zone for Texas to score and not have to rely on its field goal kicker. 16 of 25 for the year, by the way. Right?
Bobby has trust issues with field goal kickers.
I absolutely do. Do you not?
Yeah, I'm still a little short. Yeah.
I literally, you go back to it and you think of Justin Tucker and you know how clutch that kick was in retrospect. And that was before you knew Justin Tucker was going to be Justin Tucker in the NFL.
That's
by
fair.
the way.
Yeah. Whitney Gadsden asks, who's your offensive and defensive MVP? My defensive MVP is JT, whatever his last name is for Ohio State. That guy's been nails in the last 2 games of the playoffs, even playing through injury. Offensive MVP.
Will Howard. Got to be Will Howard, right?
Yeah, I'll have to be.
Yeah.
Although Jaden Greathouse made a run for it.
He's mine.
Yeah.
And look, both quarterbacks made a run for it in this game. They're both very similar in this game. Yeah.
I'll go Will Howard.
Actually, maybe Quinshon Judkins. He has 3 touchdowns out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. You had one receiving, didn't he?
Yep, he's got 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I didn't even think
It'll
about
probably
that.
go to the quarterback though, but it probably should go to Judd.
Will Howard's only thrown 4 incompletions all.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude had a hell of a game, man. That was Will the Thrill Howard right there. He balled out.
Yeah.
God, JD.
PA.
Right, they got that monkey off his back like Steve Young, man.
Yeah.
Get that monkey off his back.
Go club, go.
After the game, he should hold up third base like Ricky Henderson and say, "Today I'm the greatest."
He just had like a really emotional moment on the sideline there.
Oh, he just threw the
right. He like threw his headset and everything.
he just threw it in the
He threw it like in the stands.
he threw it right into the stands. Oh yeah, pad your stats, Jaden.
Pat your stats, Jaden. Listen to CJ rooting to the end.
Well, he finished with 128, baby.
Hey man, good for Ryan Day. That's man. What a great story, dude. That
It really is.
What like a month ago, 6 weeks ago,
It's about 5.
half his fans wanted him fired.
If he look, the reality is, if he had lost a Tennessee game at home,
Wow. Yeah,
he may have been.
I agree with that.
It's like who's the old Miss baseball coach, CJ, that was about to be fired, and then he went on and won the College World Series. It's
Yep.
different, but the guy was on the brink of being fired, and then they went on a run and won the College World Series. I mean, Ryan Day was about to be out. If he lost to Tennessee, he would have been out.
Well, not just that. I mean, you lose to a bad Michigan team, and then your team brawls at midfield. Like everything's snow piled.
Bad look.
Yeah.
That was a bad look. Yeah.
And then you play your best football though from that
The
point
rest of
on.
the way.
That shows good football character. That does. To play your best football. That was your low point of the season. That was a shameful moment for your football team. And the Longhorns had a shameful moment, right? They first Georgia game, and then you see them bounce back with championship pedigree. Good for Ohio State.
This will be the first time an Urban Meyer assistant has won a national championship.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Born on third base.
Yeah.
Finally made it home. Born on third base. He finally made it home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hey, one final thing we do want to talk about is Jim Knowles, the Ohio State defensive coordinator, being talked about as the potential replacement at OU for their defensive coordinator who left this offseason. We have heard that thought process. We do not know if it's happened, though. So we've talked about it, but there's actually been some articles written about it in the state of Oklahoma. But I don't think any of us have any particular insight on that final decision, if he is indeed going after winning the national championship.
And the question will be, does Ryan Day, if he can get an NFL job, does he leave? Because this is the time to go if you can.
Yep.
This is
It's
it.
the time to go.
If he wants it.
Yeah. Yeah. If I was him, with all the crap I took, I would say,
Who takes the Ohio State job? Marcus Freeman and or
Will King.
Matt Campbell?
Marcus Freeman can't turn this job down, I don't think.
Yeah. All right. That's going to do it. Thank you all so much. Thank you to our producer behind the scenes sticking with us the entire night. That's Matt Hutchison. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, CJ. I'm glad your allergies are kicking in a little bit better with the medicine. Got the purple drink on. Jerry Hamilton, good to see you, buddy. I'll see you again in the morning, like you said, with Coffee and Football. Rod Babers at one point in the night sported the helmet. Thanks to you, Rod. We appreciate you. And thanks to all you guys hanging out with us. It was a lot of fun. This was like the best watch with us I've ever been on because I had no anxiety about it either way. I enjoyed it very much. All right. You guys have a good one. Y'all take care. Hook 'em and have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Hook 'em.